TV. Hope everyone's keeping well, considering the news. Obviously, it was broke out today. As you can see, me and Budgie are here.
We are.
And as always, we respect everyone that's come into the chat so far. There's been some great comments, and we'll start off with them first of all, and then we're going to go into what we're going to do so far. So, as always, usual first one is usual suspect. Good evening, ladies. Good evening to you as well. Usual, hope you're well. Good evening, Matt. Big up usual, Tony and Budgie. Good in there, and big up across from the pond, Iron Disciple. Rest in peace, Jota. Tragic story hits home to any football supporter. We've lost or almost lost Antonio. Absolutely, we'll cover that. Should count ourselves as blessed in that regards. Yes, rest in peace. Sad news. Thoughts and prayers with the family, and that sums it up virtually in a nutshell. Do you think, Budge?
I think it does, mate. And I was trying to think of a phrase earlier that would kind of be a universal phrase that would kind of cover how people feel at times like this. And this sign I've got behind me, this ICF sign that says these colours don't run. Well, I think on days like today, I think colours don't matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that Liverpool have lost one of their own, one of their players, as it were, I feel deeply sorry for the club, the fans, clearly for the families, well, all the family, because as we know, he only got married recently.
Yeah, 10 days ago.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
Leaves behind, a new wife and 3 children that they share. So, I mean, obviously they've been together for some years, but the marriage was only 10 days ago. A very, very, very sad story, to be fair.
Totally agree on that. We'll catch up with the chat and see what the comments are saying. Big up to Michael in 1988 Chelsea FC. Big up Tom and Budgie. Massive condolences to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva and to their loved ones and families. I'm still in shock, and I think we all are there, Michael. And it's good to see you, back again after what's happened to you. So massive respect for that as well. But yeah, most definitely, it's a shock to the systems, I think, for most people. I don't know about you, Budge, when I first saw something ping up on the phone this morning, I thought it was one of those kind of accounts that kind of says that he had, is a joke thing.
Yeah, oh God, I was dreading it being one of those because so many people were already on the buzz, by the time I realised it, I didn't even see it till about 10 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, because it happened in the early hours of the morning, didn't it? That was the thing.
Yeah. Apparently, from what I've been what I've gathered is that they were travelling in the car, the tyre failed for some reason or another.
He was overtaking a vehicle at the time. Tyre blowout, and then basically,
car burst into flames, apparently.
Yeah, because you see some pictures a bit later on, and you can see the vehicle or what's the area, the charred area by the central reservation, and obviously that's where, they identified Diego straight away, but they didn't kind of say that they identified his brother, so not good.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying hello to each other. Usual was obviously saying about Michael Chelsea's channel because it has been removed by YouTube, and unfortunately, the outcome is it won't be coming back.
Who's that? Sorry,
Michael Chelsea. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's gonna start on another platform, so at least he'll still be doing something. Yeah, they said no. I'll be moving to the new platform, Rumble. Yes, there's another platform called Rumble, and more opinionated over there. I had a little look at it the other night. A bit more opinionated. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Usual. Agree on that. All the best, Michael. Sorry you've lost it. And as always, great seeing you in the chat. He was saying, Brendan, good evening to yourself as well. Evening, Tom, Budgie, into the chatters.
Evening.
As usual, and as I say later, everyone, I put a like on your show on for Sunday for sure. Brilliant. and everyone's saying each other. Good evening, Steve Cox. Hope you're doing, Steve. Evening, Tony, Budgie, panel, and chatters. Sad day. Yes, 100%, mate. It is very much a sad day. And we're going to show you something in a minute. We're just going to catch up with the comments in the chat because obviously, as you know, me and Budgie like doing that. We don't like leaving people out. Even though me and Budgie on the same wavelength, we're about 5 hours behind sometimes on the comments, but you know.
Yeah.
Good evening to Wurzel Herbert. I'm a cider drinker, drinks all the day. I'm a cider drinker. It soothes all my troubles away. And yeah, I mean,
that was
I'm
a song
excited.
by the Wurzels, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I am a cider drinker.
Never realised it was the Herbert dynasty that started it all.
No.
Steve saying today I'll mostly be watching Spaz Fingers. No worries. Yeah, get back in your tractor, Wurzel. Absolutely. Right. And obviously they're showing he's drinking a tractor. I know, Steve. I know. We was just talking in the background. We had a couple of things to do, and it's all, you know, now we're here. We're here, mate.
Yeah, and it was also partially my fault as well because I did doze off and I got up a bit late, so I had to make a coffee.
You're just saying I like cider once upon a time, but he never liked me. Terrible heartburn. Oh, yes, there is that as well. Good evening, words and pictures. Evening, Tony Budgie in the chat, and also to Stephen Langham as well. Good evening, all. Good evening to yourself.
Evening.
Everyone's saying hello. And good evening, Pepsi. Hope you're well, mate, as well. And as always, good to see you. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Aces, good evening as well, mate. Good to see you. And also to Budgie saying.
Good evening, Aces. Always a pleasure, sir.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. Yeah, rest in peace, Jota, as well. Good evening to Matt as well. Good to see you, Matt. My condolences, but however, I get more sympathy for the pensions who died without their winter fuel. So I don't mean negative and love and respect and all, but we are people because he's famous. I mean, you know, the good thing in certain respects, this, yeah, I mean, it's a political thing, but the government kind of, I think, or should I say, Mr. Starmer or Sir Starmer, whatever you want to call him, I think he's realised the errors of his ways, and hopefully we'll see a change with that because that was wrong on all levels. And totally agree on that, Matt. But I mean, the reason why we're doing this as well, Matt, it's a football community, you know, full well. Even though there's rivalry, it brings things like this. Unfortunately, you know, we don't like to see it happen. We nearly had it with Antonio, but it does bring the football community together and that, and
it certainly does.
You know, that's the key thing.
And you know, like you said to me off air, Tom, you viewed a few of the Liverpool channels and paid your respects to, you know, to Jota on those, and they've mentioned that, you know, West Ham fans have always been kind of good in that respect, that we are respectful when something like this does happen.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to think that those sort of comments would reflect how most other clubs would see our supporters as well, but it's not always the case, is it? I mean,
no, not at all.
But I mean, the thing is, I like, you know, as I've said before in the past, you know, I help anybody out regardless of what colour shirt they wear, you know, and you know, a couple of the guys that I really get on well with in my local pub are Millwall fans, and you know, they sit and watch our games with me because they don't get to see the Millwall games in the pub, so they'll watch West Ham with me. They'll come and sit at my table, or I'll go and sit at their table and we'll watch the game together. They take the piss, of course they do. But like when the game's done and dusted, if it's a West Ham win, they're happy for us, you know.
That's nice.
And, you know, but the thing is that even that rivalry, that bitter rivalry between West Ham and Millwall has mellowed quite well. And, you know, it's sort of aged quite well now. And I think a lot of that was when there was that sad loss of Isla Caton.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree on that.
I think that helped in that rivalry a lot, because a lot of money and funds and that were raised by Millwall and the club, and their fans. So,
Yeah, it's things like that, doesn't it? I mean, as you said, it does bring the the football community together, and
it does. It
you'll
does.
respect that. Good evening, Frog. Evening, gang. Hope we're all good. Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Hope you are as well. Ace is saying new West Ham home kit is old school. Looks like the goalkeeper kit. We're going to cover that shortly as well.
Yes.
The look at that. And everyone
I have my own opinions on that.
Well, this is not like the pajama top, that's for sure. Good evening, Steve Bell. Evening all. It's my birthday today. Usually go to the boozer for a few, but this news about Diogo Jota has really got to me, so I'm giving my granddaughters an extra hug tonight. Steve, happy birthday to yourself as mate, and respect for doing that as well, mate. And
happy birthday to you, Steve. Many happy returns.
Happy
mate.
Birthday, Steve. Happy birthday, mate.
Oh, I can't. I've emptied mine.
Good evening, Mama Flossie. Evening, Taunton Budgie. And also
evening, Mama.
And as always, everyone's saying hello to Mama. Well, at least it's a bit cooler now. The weather's a little bit cooler. Nice, easy to kind of get on with.
It is. It's much better. Much better. I think that we've kind of hit our peak this summer.
Hopefully,
over the last few days.
Because it's been
32 yesterday, wasn't it? 32 or 33.
Yeah, that was the other day. Yesterday it was a lot more cool. It was more grey. It was grey and went down to about 25, I think it was, something like that.
Oh right, okay. Oh yeah, it was the day before, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's about 32. Matt saying opinions on the home kit. Not a fan, but I know I'll be the hypocrite and I'll get it when it's on sale. That's what we all do, though, Matt. I mean, you're not alone on that one, at least.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, they've set a price on it at 75 quid.
That's the short sleeve, though. That's the short sleeved.
If you want the
long sleeve one, then it's an extra £2.50, and then it's 80 quid. £2.50 an arm. Oh man! And that's without having your names put on the back and the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you wanted the Premier League badge on the sleeve, that's always an extra tenner, or the best part of 7 or 8 quid, isn't it? 8, 10 quid. The name on the back usually is around sort of 15 quid, isn't it?
Yeah,
15
exactly.
20 quid. So it can take up to 100 quid for your shirt if you have it, all singing and dancing. And I think that's disgusting. I've got to be honest with you. And you can understand why people buy these snide ones online. You can understand why they do it. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I've done it. I have done it. I did it because I call it the Lanzini shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously the claret body with the blue patch on the chest with the stripes going through it, claret stripes going through it. I call it the Lanzini shirt because famously he wore it, and that was when he first got his number 10, I believe. But anyway, I went to buy that, and they wanted something like 65 quid for it, and I thought, God, I must be able to get it cheaper than that. And what did I just do?
No, you're still here, mate. You're still with us.
Yeah. Am I?
Yeah, still with us. Still here.
Oh, hang on. I can't see anything. Oh, there I am. So I think it was about 65 quid. And I was looking online. I thought, I must be able to find it cheaper. I think I paid about 24 quid for it, I think. But it came with a pair of shorts as well.
See? Can't knock that.
But I realised why I should have gone and got the official one, because the stripes weren't the same on both shoulders. They came off one shoulder beautifully and went off the upper shoulder all cocky.
Oh, bloody. Yeah. I mean, I suppose you pay for what you get, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah, you
There's
do.
that.
Yeah.
There's that. But I just want to highlight this one because this obviously put things into perspective as well, like what Matt was saying here, and this is from Brendan. And yeah, devastating this here, what he's just put here as well. He said, "My heart is with a family that collided with a van over here. A 6-year-old has died at the scene. The mother died literally an hour ago. The father and a 2-year-old are still in hospital." So I agree with you, and that puts things into perspective.
It does. It also brings back terrible memories for me.
Yes, I see that in your comment in the the group that we're in.
Yeah.
It just shows you that life is short, and
Yeah.
you can be up 1 minute and gone the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brendan, condolences here in that news. It is devastating, mate. And man, you imagine being the father and that he's got to deal with a 2-year-old, and obviously hearing that news, that's bad.
Yep.
Steve saying cheers, of course. And they're all, as always, bigging up Steve, Mr. Bell, and also Lee. Only 5. Yes, only 5. Not too bad.
Go and grab my glasses.
No, mate, I'm going to try and catch up with the thing and that, yeah. Matt saying, Toby, I took and bang on. Even the knife crime, so many parents burying. Yeah. And if it's London and that, Mr. Khan saying he's doing things and this and the other. And as we know, it's done absolutely sweet FA, basically. Yeah. Matt's saying that the Spain women are tuning up against Portugal. Thank you for that, Matt. Hi, Togs, saying no each other. Michael was saying, yeah, good. Game gone already. Italy won earlier today as well. Matt saying, question, what's this purple thing near my name? Sorry, not good with the new YouTube updates. There's some weird things going on, Matt, and it'd be nice if they communicated it out. So once you start putting comments in, for some reason, you then get this kind of little purple thing. You're either 1, 2, or 3. So if you're number 1, then you're the top talker, basically, in the chat.
Yeah.
It seems to be that. But even then, I don't know if you noticed it as well, people's names in the comments, so like be Budgie, it'd be like Budgie 6436. These things are added. No idea what that's all about. There you go.
It's all these new updates.
I know, but it wouldn't mind let you know what it's all about, because you see people saying it in the comments, and it's like, what the hell? It means just on tonight's show. Good evening, Peter, and he's saying, good evening, Sissy and Ada, and the chat room. Sissy and Ada. Would anyone be surprised if we still hadn't signed anyone this time next week? No, Peter. Well, all them names, and so far, just 2.
Yeah.
Matt saying, watched it early, Michael Chelsea. Fed up with the commentators trying to referee the match. Yeah. You just say, Matt, it means it's your round.
We're all on our way.
And the purple one means shots all round as well, usually. That's the one. That's it. Is there a tab going? Matt saying, usually if there's ever a Hammer Football TV meetup, I'll buy around for sure if we can get in there. Because, they suggested that, Budge, when I did the celebration of getting over 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
There's Harry come up with the thing and that. I bet we can't try and get a Hammers Football TV get together. So that's something we've got to try and do, and also a WhatsApp group as well. So
yes,
we get that all.
Yes, mate. Yeah. Well, you know how to make a WhatsApp group, don't you?
Yeah. I know that part. Yeah, that's there.
And then you can just assign one moderator for your group, just in case you lose your phone.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to get back into the group unless a moderator allows you in, and then assigns you back as the moderator again.
I get you. Yeah.
So have at least one. I made that mistake a couple of years back with that More Than Family. So.
Going back on the comment thing, Peter saying about Millwall, we could be playing Millwall in 26-27 season. Well, let's get our act together, and that's not far from the truth. Good evening, Damien. Last time we played Millwall, it did kick off though.
It did.
And he was there, he said. He was there for that.
Mm.
Matt Frog saying it reminds us how quick it can all disappear if nothing else. Absolutely. And also rest in peace to Diogo and that, and of course, as Brendan mentioned, rest in peace, the young kid and the mum. Good evening to Father Jack. Welcome into the channel. Drink, he's saying.
Good evening, Father Jack.
Shaken or stirred. Mama
Any
says,
relation? Any relation to Father Ted?
Mama says, usual, I'm a pink gin kind of lady. On the rare occasions, I drink. Ravi, big up to yourself, bro. Big up Tony Budgie. A respect to everyone. Sad to hear about Jota also as well. Brendan's saying, yeah, evening, Steve. Mother's ruin. Yes, Mother's ruin. Remember they're saying that.
Oh, mate, I love a gin. I love a gin. It makes me so merry. And I don't wake up with a hangover.
Matt saying, question host geezer on the right. I'm sure that must be me from this point where he's looking at. What strain you got there, fella? This is, believe it or not, Brewdog's thing called Black Heart, which is a draft stout, very similar to Guinness. Not bad stuff. Not bad. Not as good, obviously, but not
and if he's talking to me, it's Callie. It's Callie. Okay.
Brendan, I read that as pink paraffin. Pink paraffin. Steve saying, my Facebook drawing in Moody soccer shirts, jersey adverts today. Yeah, they're all coming out.
Yeah.
Steve saying, Mark, we're glad to see you got things sorted, mate. Yeah, exactly. Damien's got he's ordered his shirt already, writing on the back, Potter out #1. Joking, kinda. Good evening, Arsenal Manic. Good evening to yourself. I hope you're well, mate. Good to see you in
Manic.
Steve Cox is saying, pull the other one, Damien. Reckon you did. Big Arsenal Manic. Good evening, Ian R. Evening, gents. Cheap looking kit for a cheaply run cub. Sponsor looks terrible and not enough blue for me.
Nowhere near enough blue.
Yeah, I think you mentioned about this underneath the arms, the little blue thing.
Yeah, it's got a little piece under the arms. Now, I thought it was going to be similar to a top that I've got, but it's not. The one I've got, it's got the blue panel completely down this. Yeah. But it was just a training kit. It was never actually a game shirt. But I thought it was going to be similar to that, but it's not. It's just got this little diamond bit under the armpit and a bit around the collar, and I think maybe a bit around the cuff as well. And that's it. And I think it's got a light pinstripe running through the shirt as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I do believe so, yeah.
not that you're going to see that from a distance.
No, that's for sure. Peter saying, is Jake the only one who has a Hammers channel that doesn't have a tash or a beard?
Oh, it's coming, mate. Don't worry. He knows it's an essential part of Hammers YouTubing.
Frog saying, Claire Grogan keeps popping into my head every time Steve gets a congrats. You're just saying, have you seen the picture of Susan Ball wearing it? Yes, we've seen it.
It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Matt's saying, we sell the cheap version kit for the expensive version that clubs do. Scummy from Brady and Sullivan. We need them out of our club. 70 quid, 80 quid for the cheap version shirt. Criminal. Yeah. I think in the community with me and Budgie and that, I think that was mentioned a few times, wasn't it, about the price?
Yeah.
Bit wrong. Phil, good evening to yourself. Evening, fellas.
Evening, Phil.
Steve saying, Damien saying, Steve, I haven't ordered it, mate. It's in the basket on the website. Might pay it with my own club cash. Happy days. Damien said, I want West Ham to get a night kit with a light blue Nike tick.
Yeah, I used to love the Adidas kits. I still do, actually. I still think Adidas kits are really well cut, really well designed. I mean, Liverpool still use Adidas, don't they? I think
they do, yeah. Because not being fun. I mean, the pony one wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad looking kit.
That weren't a bad kit. But I remember when we had the Adidas kits, every player that I've seen like that's done interviews and that have spoken about the kits, and it's not all of them, obviously, but some of the ones that have, they've spoken about the Adidas kits and just said they just fitted well, you know. And I've found that with most Adidas wear, you know, clothing.
Yeah, they have got it right, haven't they? They have got it right.
Yeah.
Peter saying buying off dodgy sites is feeding some awful gangland stuff that no one should go through. Yeah, there's a lot of that goes through in there. Good evening, Troj, and he's obviously saying rest in peace as well. And they're saying, yeah, rest in peace. He's saying, yeah, for them people. Yeah. Steve Hill saying, yeah, Togs, that's shocking, mate.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a little moment to reflect on Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, his brother.
So let me just kind of say these two comments, then we will do that.
Yeah,
now.
go on.
Damon saying, my little mate says he loves Jota. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Leon saying, sad news, rest in peace, Jota as well. Yep, rest in peace, and up to Trosh. We'll go up to that point there. So let me just take that off, and this is something we just kind of put together in there, and it's only roughly about 30 odd seconds in there, and it's just obviously our little bit to our commiserations and that, and no disrespect to everyone else, but yeah, it's a sad day for football, basically. So yeah, rest in peace there.
Yeah.
Let me just catch up where I was before. This is going to be interesting trying to catch up with this one now.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly different to StreamYard when it comes to that things.
Yeah.
Should have highlighted the bloody thing.
Yeah, so
caught up. Found it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see any of the club releases now regarding that event.
Yeah, there's been a lot of the clubs putting comments in. Players have been putting comments in. Ex-players have been putting comments in. The fans have been putting comments in. Yeah. But as Brendan, has just highlighted, unfortunately for some people, their life is not going to carry on. It's going to be a different path from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, devastating.
Absolutely.
Peter saying, do you win money or prizes? Are you making any more comments? Unfortunately, YouTube are not that generous.
Even Tony don't get any more prizes.
Good evening, Leon. Good evening, Tony, Budgie, and all the chatters online. He's saying,
Leon, good evening, mate.
Yeah, Peter jumps a little bit. Mama says, think they've put it back to no more in front. Okay. Yeah, it was weird, Mama, wasn't it? All these icons and numbers, and no idea what that was all about. They were rich enough to hire chauffeurs, because it turns out the reason why he was driving is because he couldn't fly by plane. It was something to do with a medical condition. I think it was his lungs or something like that.
All right.
So he was going to be driving back, and that's.
I mean, he left Portugal to come home. Well, to come to London or Liverpool. He just got into Spain by all accounts, which wasn't very.
Spain.
Yeah, he couldn't have got very far from where he'd left. They said it was only a matter of a couple of hours or something of driving.
Damon saying, who are the two signings? Cummins then, well, obviously the other one, and you said, yeah, Todibo, the one we should have known about, Todibo. That's the limit to our club at the moment.
Yeah.
Frog saying, yeah, with the title thing, Pete, you win a romantic evening with Tony. Oh, there you go. It can't be all that bad, is it? Can't they, as the other Trosh is saying. Good evening. Mama said, I'm not a hammer, but can I beat it? That's a silly question, Mama. You're part of this. You're part of the Hammers Football TV.
It's not. Yeah, it's not actually, as you well know, Mama Flossie. Right, this channel has never been just about West Ham. Tone's a West Ham fan, yeah, but always welcomes all club representatives in. Always has, always will. Never, discriminate. So of course, Mama, we would be very disappointed if you didn't come.
Exactly. If anything else than that, we'll fly up and get you and bring you back. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I'll get my daughter to come round and get you because she only lives round the corner. She'll stick you on the coach or something.
Yeah, we are, Trudge. We're rocking it at the moment with the signings. Free coming in. Good evening, Ray. Hope you're well, mate. Good evening, all.
Mr. Burke, good evening, sir.
And good evening, Harry, as well. Good evening, all you beautiful people. Come on, you irons.
Wait.
Sarcasm off and L.O. Topher, mate. Yeah, so on the transfer front, we are very quiet at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, we're thin on the ground, mate. Thin on the ground. And that's clearly because the club are penny pinching. It can only be because of that, Tone. Like, look, we've had an offer turned down for what was his name? They call him Magic something or other. Magic, not Basuma, something. Diouf.
Diouf, I was going to say, I thought Diouf.
Yeah. They're calling him Magic, aren't they? Magic Diouf. But we've had a 25 million euro bid turned down.
No, it's 20 million.
20 million. They wanted 25.
They want 25.
What's the betting? We're trying to give them 23.
We'd be like Arsenal, mate. It'd be 20 plus £1. We'd do that kind of stupidity. And it's why are we doing the same shithousery we did last season when we lost out on players? Because he thought I'll go with a cheeky bid. Yeah. See, I'll test the water on that, and then I go with should we go with a high bid? No, I'll try a cheeky one again, and then before you know it, he doesn't sign.
Yeah, before you know it, he's gone and signed for Fulham or
signed a new contract like John Duran did at the time.
Yeah,
one. And
at least we know the Jonathan David link is out of the water now because he's just signed for whoever it was, Genoa or Girona or something, isn't it?
That weren't going to happen in a month of Sundays.
Never. We weren't never getting him.
Bill, what was we going to offer him? London nightlife. That's about it.
Pie mash and liquor every Friday.
Beef yourself up with some of that, son. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mad. Matt's saying it wouldn't be the same without Mama Flossie, so you've got to be there. 100%, absolutely. And everyone's saying, good evening. Steve's Frog, surely that's a truffle with Budgie.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying, like Harry, all right, you lovely people, he's saying. Yeah, I mean, I think you said it on Old School Hammers last night. I mean, the amount of players that is suddenly kind of linked with, and it's like, yeah, how much of those are actually real?
Yeah. I mean, like Russ and Gonzo, Gio, all of them guys, that they've got more information available to them than I have. I get most of my information from them, from yourself, and because I'm not really, I don't like trolling through the internet to find news and stuff. That's why I don't do all this daily updates and all that. I just do. I see what I see through the week, and then on a Wednesday, me and Kieran rip the shit out of it. So that's that's what I do. Really. I don't pretend to be an in the know or, a source of decent information. What I do is I like entertaining the people and giving over any information I can during that time. But, like Russ and all them guys, even them guys, they would say it's probably about 30% accurate. So we probably have been linked in some legitimate way with probably about 45 players, I would say.
Mm.
Right, probably around that. But the thing is, the paperwork is showing closer to 180.
Yeah.
But that's always the way with West Ham. We get linked with everybody and his brother.
This is true. So I'm just replying back to my boss at work.
Oh yeah, no problem. Well, while you're doing that, I will say hello to. Hang on, if I can find them. Where are we? I'm only scrolling through, so
No
I
worries.
can't. Oh, well, you've got them now. Anyway, look.
Yep.
You're there. You've done.
Got really annoying.
I was just gonna do a little dance routine in the break section.
I've got a really annoying fruit fly that's ignoring my apple vinegar trap. Yeah, they've wised up these days. There, what a freak! Before he's in the desert. Yes. Big fat one. We know what he carries eggs. Yep, they're the ones. The bar lambs.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying good evening to Steve as well. You will. Damien, you smoking Cali, you saying?
Yes.
Talking
of Kelly, Miguel's coming over in 13 days.
Brilliant. Absolutely love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Ace is saying, see, Boyle Sports Shops have West Ham sponsorship on its front shops now. They didn't hang around in.
Yeah. And do you know what? When we got that shirt sleeve sponsor of JD Sports, I went into 4 different JD shops, and not one of them did any West Ham merchandise at all. Not one of them. One of them is the big one at Croydon. The Whitgift Centre or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It was the one there, and I went, no, mate, sorry, we don't do West Ham stuff. It's like, but you sponsor our shirts. He goes, well, not me personally, mate.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm a Chelsea fan. I was like, you bloody would be, you cocky git.
George saying the sponsor's logo looks amateur and cheap, so suits us well. So let's just kind of pull this up now. Let me just show you this on here. Yeah. So that is it. That is it.
Oi, Jared, ain't you getting changed? Have you seen that?
Yeah. And I mean, United by more is the slogan.
Yeah, they should have put 2 O's in it, but there you go.
That's the thing for me as well. It's like, surely, you missed a trick there, basically.
They have not. Yeah, I mean, look. To be fair, they could have actually got onto a real winner. Like, United by more. If they'd have done OORE and they'd done a retro kit of the style that Bobby Moore may have worn, then I think it would have been a much more successful campaign for them. Because to me, right, this kit actually looks like a generic kit that you go and buy for your Sunday league team.
Yeah, because I mean, it's quite a lot of claret, isn't it?
It's all claret, to be fair, other than that bit under the arms, around the cuffs and around the neck. And like I say, you can go and buy generic kits that look like that. You just choose your colour, choose the colour of your shorts and socks, and you buy like 11 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good shout from Brendan here, because he says, the Ball Sports logo on the shirt is not the same as the shops. And he's not wrong. I mean, it's completely...
Sports were until all this came about.
They are just like Betway. They're an Irish betting company.
Right.
So, and then you think, we've only got this Ball Sports for the 1 year, and then that's it. Because the gambling's banned from being on the shirt.
So why are we so easily linked with Irish betting companies then?
Well, I suppose if you look, the thing you got to question, because as I say, Betway was that as well. But what's the point of you've got one season to go, and you know it's gambling on the shirts no longer there.
Yeah.
Yet the 10-year relationship you've had with Betway, you've just kicked that in the bin to go with these.
Yeah.
And then they come up with a logo like that.
Yeah. And to be fair, Tone, Sullivan could have picked the phone up and said to Kretinsky, "Here, Danny, you know you've got all them shares in post office. Do you fancy having that on the front of the shirt this year, just for a year?"
You know what I mean? But
and you know, I think a lot of fans would have been happier with that. Do you know what I mean? Because the Royal Mail, although it is now, you know, majority owned by Kretinsky, as in a Czech Republican, it's still, the Royal Mail is still proudly a British institution.
mm-hmm.
Now, it's been around since the 1800s.
Yes, yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's true.
You know, so you know, I think the club could have had a very proud moment. You know, United by more with, as I said, with like a retro kit, and have, you know, the Royal Mail on the front of it, and that would have also helped sort of kind of, I know it's a little bit late now, but also that would have kind of celebrated the Royal Mail now becoming His Majesty's rather than Her Majesty's.
There's that as well. But I've just seen, you know, I've left it on you at the moment. One better than that, and that's from Damien. Boyle Sports would have been better with Rose Sports for the locals. And Damien, if you know, you know. Because that would have definitely gone to the nostalgia if you had Rose Sports instead of Boyle Sports. Totally agree on that. Great shout. Troy's saying the best bit about the kit is the Trevor Booking socks. Yes, they do look quite decent, but that's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Damon saying to Matt. Harry said about, obviously, Jake, a little bum fluff Peter. Steve says, we all like a bit of blue for the Peter K fans, he says. Matt saying, lads, I'm new to the channel and shows, but I said this on West Ham Football TV, West Ham Fan TV. Got an email from West Ham last Friday about me getting extra season tickets for dad and son. What happened to the 80,000 waiting list? Not paying £1,400. Matt, first of all, glad you're with us in the show. And that if you've not already done it, you know, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget Budgie's channel as well. Link is in the description for his channel.
I think Matt's already subscribed to my one, mate.
No
I see him regularly on a Wednesday night as well. So
good.
Yeah.
But I did see his comment in with Nicky and Dan. The fact of 1 minute there's a big waiting list, and suddenly they're offering season tickets like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, because they're not selling.
Of course not. And if you look,
people haven't renewed.
That's the best way to hit them in the pocket, mate.
It is. And the thing is, although, you know, they would like to sell the season tickets because they want to say, we have sold 30,000 season tickets again this season, etc., etc. They want to be able to say that, but it don't fucking matter to them, Tom, because they'll sell them tickets to the. I don't want to be rude, but you know, to the
whoever's
tourist,
available,
to the tourist trade, as it were, and you know, like so many people from abroad want to go to a Premier League game, and West Ham making it very easy for them to do that.
You could just see it there, Budge. You could see around Westfield and that bloke with an A-frame sign. All the old hooky ticket people are kind of getting peed off because there's this bloke going saying, "Here, mate, do you want to buy tickets? They're legit. These are legit. These are real stuff. Really, you know, top dollar seats." You can just see it kind of mile off. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah,
that's just man. What we're doing with Casey and Ajala, Damon's asking. Your question is just as good as ours because there's no answers coming out of what's going on with these players at the moment.
No, I have heard that Casey is being looked at to train more with the first team squad. I did hear that from, was that Anton or Russ? It was one of those two last week. That apparently that, you know, that it's been said that they're going to be training with the first. He's going to be training with the first team squad more often. Or he was most likely to. I think it was. But other than that, nothing really. I mean, listen, what news is coming out of West Ham at the moment? Oh yeah, we've got no money. We're not signing anybody, and the season tickets aren't selling. got a new kit for you to go and waste your money on. And by the way, we've reduced the price of the full little kit for the babies. It was something like $39.99. Now it's $34.99.
Oh man, yeah, that just sums it all up. Really does. But
a kit for a baby that they're probably only ever going to be able to wear for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, grow out of it.
Honestly, Tone, my daughter's just had her baby a month ago yesterday, right? And I bought her a beautiful little outfit. She was like 4 days old or something when I gave it to him. She wore it on the 5th day, 6th day, something like that. She wore it again a few days later after it had been washed and cleaned. And then my daughter went to put her in it yesterday and couldn't get it on her.
Bloody hell.
She said it would have been too tight around the arms and the neck. I'm like, well, good God. You know, she's only literally worn it twice. I mean, she's got stacks of clothes, don't get me wrong.
I bet you, yeah.
But, yeah, so, you know, to go and pay 35 quid for a baby kit that they're only going to ever wear maybe twice or 3 times.
Now, you missed a trick, mate. You buy an adult kit and then you just kind of bring it in. And as they grow, and that you let it out a little bit.
Yeah, son, you'll grow into it. But Dad, I'm 9 months old.
Don't worry about
you'll
that,
grow
son.
into it, son. Don't worry. You got a lifetime of this. Brilliant.
It was good for the price at the time, but yeah, that'll do. You were saying it looks cheap and nasty, just like Sullivan. Yeah, it's not exactly, inspiring. I mean, like, not being funny. The kit last year there was some retroness in there, so that made more sense. But this one, I mean,
maybe a set of embossed hammers across the front, or the back. Like right across the chest, or behind the Boyle Sports bit. Maybe that embossed look. Not actually a transfer, but it looks like it's embossed in. If they'd have done something like that, or like designed into the actual shirt as it was,
made it a bit more
it would have been. It would have been maybe something a little different, But as it is right now, I think most people that are complaining about it have valid reason to, because that's not something I would want to spend 75+ quid on.
Not at all. Not at all. Mama's saying, Matt, if you're new here, you'd have to sing us a song. Damien's happy with the Cummins sign. You happy with the Cummins signing as well, Budge? Do you think it kind of makes sense?
Look,
he's young and he's 19.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm as happy with that signing as I was the Flynn Down signing. And I can kind of see it going the same way. Because that's what we kind of do to the midfield players that we scout when they're younger.
Yeah.
We kind of do that. We play them. We don't play them right. We're trying to fit them in where we need them, not where they play. And I think as a result, you don't see the best of them. And we didn't with Flynn Downs. On the couple of occasions that he did play his natural position, he kind of drifted into his natural position, as it were. I thought he looked quite good, and the same also with our current number 7. What's his name? James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
If you don't play him in his correct position, he looks weak and useless. Not completely useless, but he doesn't look as effective as he can be. Now, I know there's a lot of criticism of Ward-Prowse, and don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of dishing some of it out myself, right? But I think we should be keeping him, because I think he's the kind of player that will kind of help to hold that midfield strong, because he's not a bad player, mate. He's just not fast.
No.
You know, we need to get faster players around him.
He just needs to use experience, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Balls like
And look at the experience he has got, though, mate. I mean, he captained Southampton. He earned that as well. He went through the ranks at Southampton and earned the right to captain that club. So, you know, and he's had a couple of shouts for the England. He's had a couple of England call-ups. Not that he's done particularly well or had that much game time with them, but he has had a couple of call-ups. And all of that is valid and you know, important experience for a player in the Premier League. You know, those kinds of things, they build character in you, whether they're successful or not.
True. Yeah, I agree on that.
And I think that James Ward-Prowse is one of those players of character. And just because, you know, he's not Speedy Gonzalez, it doesn't mean he's shit.
No. It's just seeing the other side of him. And we don't know what this season's going to bring for all of our players at the moment. That's going to be the proof in the pudding when the pre-season starts. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Matt said in here, though, like he says, his nephew works at the club shop. And it says only the management pretends to like it, to sell it. But most of the kids at the shop hate it, even the non-West Ham fans. That just sums it all up.
That says it all. And thanks for that comment, Matt, because we wouldn't know stuff like this without the inside here.
Yeah,
so well done, mate.
Yeah, thank you for that. Big up to our friend Rich99 Arsenal. Tony, big up my friend. Big up everyone in the chat. Football rivalry today takes a back seat. Adidas is the best we use it, and Liverpool is Nike. I think they are indeed. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah.
But Josh says it's not the same as it used to be, and I agree on that one. Too commercialised now. Ace is saying Pony and Feeler kits were mint. Yeah, they were good. They were not bad then.
Yeah.
Stephen's asking about Alfie Cummins. You know much about him, Damien? Damien's saying the crate of Adidas and the crate of Puma are brothers. That's correct. That's very much like when you look at Aldi. There were two brothers.
Yeah.
So you've got the Aldi that we know over here, and if you go into Europe, they've because we've got like a blue and a yellow kind of background.
Yep.
Whereas out in Europe, they've got them stores, plus they've got the all blue ones.
Right.
And those stores sell cigarettes.
Oh right.
And that's where they broke it. You know, they divided us to you know, same company, but yeah, they divided themselves because of that reason alone, because he sells cigarettes.
Yeah. It's like the Twix brothers, isn't there? The one on the left and the one on the right.
There you go. Look, Matt's breaking the song already. I'm forever flying bubbles. Or you want some 70s or 80s music? Brilliant. Damon's never seen many Puma kits. No, that's very true. Steve Cox is saying Casey and Ayala loans, I reckon. Hopefully Orford too, but depends on signings. Yeah, signings. That immortal lost word in a West Ham.
I think we need to be careful with our expectations of Ajala. Yes, he's shown promise. But then so did Divine Mavama. Ends up going to Man City, and now he's just a bench player. Yeah, true. You know, we need to be careful of our expectations of Ajala, because if he gets too much of a lift at this young age, it might be the catalyst that broke the duck's back, if you like. You know, because that I think that's what happened with Divine Mavama.
Yeah.
You know, he scored those couple of goals. One of them was in the Europa League. No, Conference League.
He did all right in a couple of the friendlies. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I think he scored one in a league game as well.
Yeah.
And you know, because he got so much love for doing that, I think he kind of felt that he had a right to be there all the time. And I want first team football. Man City are interested in me. Well, go on then, mate. Go and get your first team football. How many actual appearances did he made for them? I think 3 substitute appearances.
That's it. Not actually started or anything like that. That's for sure.
No.
But, good luck to him. You know, if it works out well. But you know.
Yeah. I mean,
at the end of the
if
day,
you think you can go and challenge Erling Haaland to his slot in the first team, good luck, son.
yeah, good luck, good luck. Big up to Rasta Stocks. Good evening from New York City. Rasta Stocks, good to see you, my friend.
Good evening, Rasta.
Good guy as well.
Wagwan.
You know, he's getting some content going, so he's a good guy as well. Matt's also saying he do love me some Elvis. You can bring him into that. He's saying, Mama's saying, don't mind Matt. Rasta Stocks is also saying sad day in football. Yeah, we've just heard some
Yes, mate.
devastating news from Brendan as well. So yeah, it's a sad day all round, really, in that respects.
Yep.
Matt saying he's one famous person I do give a toss about. Yeah. And Harry's saying like the Rasta. Steve saying nice tribute, gents. Thank you very much. And that was all down to Budgie on that one. So good commendation for Budgie. Yeah, really top class that was. Trosh saying welcome, Rasta man. Leon saying a bit of class there, Tony and Budgie. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, son.
We do get it right every now and then, don't we, mate?
We do try, don't we, sir?
Matt Rainey saying Jota is my age. Wow. Makes me sad, and as a father, I want to live as long as possible to see my son grow up. Love you, boy.
Yeah.
Nice. That's brilliant, Matt. And this is the thing, innit? I mean, like you know the old saying, no parent should die, or no kid should die before their parents, basically.
Yeah, no parent should outlive their children.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. My brother and my sister.
Yeah, it's it's amazing as a race, and with all the kind of technology in that, we're still shit in all departments, really. You said his parents only had the two boys. How must they be feeling? Yeah, exactly. And that, I mean, they've lost both of their boys, and he's leaving 3 kids.
Devastating. I mean, that's with those 2 boys going together, just on a personal level, that's got to be 15 people directly, affected by that. Like on a daily basis, So, I know on the grand scheme of things, 15 people isn't a lot of people, but when you think that is, that's going to filter down like in their children's lives and how their parent died, and it's just it's a lifetime of hurt for them poor buggers, mate.
Yeah,
really is.
I mean, the main thing on that, though, isn't it? You make sure they know the good times. And that, for me, I mean, like I'm just going to put some comments here. Like Rich 99 Arsenal saying Jota at 5'10" was brilliant in the air and one of the best finishes in the Premier League, and I totally agree on that. And
I agree.
And also, Trosh says, he leapt like a salmon. The one thing that I'm going to miss in that respect from him was that cheeky smile he used to have. Yeah. That lit up a game.
And let's not forget, he was at Wolves. He was absolutely setting fire to the Premier League.
Oh, wasn't he?
And then Liverpool went and purchased him. And fair play to them. They wanted him. They got him. And within 8 minutes of his debut, he's got the ball in the back of the net. What a dream start for the boy, Yeah. What a dream start. And never failed to produce the goods, really, to be fair. He was one of their more consistent players throughout the whole of his time with Liverpool, I think he was consistently, performing at the highest level he possibly could, I've never seen him have a bad game. And I know that was said earlier in one of the group, but I've never seen him have a bad game, son.
No, I mean, he wasn't a prolific starter, but when he came on, he did make an impact. When he did start, he also made an impact. So yeah, I mean, all rounder in that respect. So I totally agree on that, Budge. But it was just the cheekiness of him when you see him. When he scored goals and that smile came on. It was a bit infectious. You know what I mean?
He was kind of like Liverpool for me. He was not the same kind of play or player, but the same kind of character and person around the team. For me, he was Liverpool's version of like Pablo Fornals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Good evening,
He laughed
Manus.
at
Good
me.
evening, gents. Hope you're good. Yeah, we're good, mate. Hope you are as well. And thanks for the comment earlier on in the community page as well. Trosh says Kilman got scored by Jota. Yeah, well, there's no surprise there, really.
Who don't? Who
Yeah.
don't? In
Leon
fact,
said,
on the Sky tribute, when they announced the breaking news, they showed two pictures of two stills of Jota, like working defences. And both times they were in West Ham kit. One of them was Tadibo, and the other one was Gilman. So yeah, it just goes to show you that,
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's showing you here now on just got Sky Sports on there, showing you all the comments from the for the football clubs. I don't know if we've West Ham have said anything yet because I ain't seen anything come up. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Leon said, yeah, he was only just married a few weeks ago. Yeah, 10 days ago, basically. Yeah, and absolutely dreadful. So sad.
Yeah.
They make a lot of German teams kits, Damien. Yeah, that's obviously about the kit things we were talking about. Leon, definitely usual. His mum and dad must be devastated. Yeah, it's a good shout, that one. What they must be going through. And they're saying like Rich Shaver. Matt saying maybe Liverpool will go for kudos after the sad news of events. We'll be interested what's going to happen on that one. Even LeBron James has mentioned him as well. Harry's saying even the occasional spud in Jose. Yes. Yes. He's all right, Jose. We know that, and I know you wind him up. Peter's saying 3 centre halves where we paid about 100 million, and they're all poor. Yeah, we have definitely kind of wasted some money, that's for sure. Steve says, Mama, you're my favourite barcode and can be my proxy at any tweet up. Brilliant. Love that. I was going to say, Harry, we allow the spuds in too. Matt says, Harry Monk, I draw the line at Millwall, though. Mill who? Trosh says, we're not very good at signing centre-backs or strikers. Yeah, we've recently been quite dog crap on that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and fast midfielders.
God, don't mention that one. David saying to Peter, we overpaid for all of them. All decent, but we overpaid on all of them. Yeah, not wrong there. Frog saying, never see many spuds out in the YouTube world. True.
They do kind of keep themselves to themselves with their own channels and that, to be fair.
Good evening to who's it now? Chris Hintonio. Yeah. Welcome into the chat. Rodrigo, Eze, and Gyökeres all signing for Arsenal. So why did they move to the Olympic Stadium? Yes, to attract big players. Apparently, if you remember back in the day, that's what it's all there for. Always attracting as a top tourist. Thanks for coming in, Chris. Really appreciate your comment as well. And Mama said, "Oh, Steve Cox, what a lovely thing to say." It's a date, she says. Damon sent to Peter, if you either need to go 3-5 at the back or play 2 DMs. Yeah, but also we're talking about. Well, let's hope that Potter sorts his bloody tactics out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Troy says, I'm going to put 50 quid on us to get relegated. We keep Ergurd and sign Cresswell. Yeah, because obviously the youngster we're looking at as well apparently got an interest in the youngster, the under-21s.
What's his name?
Is it
Chris? No.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, I forget.
Scott.
No, I think
Scott.
Is it Scott Cresswell?
Scott Cresswell, I think it is. Yeah. No relation to Aaron, apparently.
But he looks all right though. Does look good.
He does, yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to see the Cresswell name on the shirt still, wouldn't it?
Still back on there again, yeah. Everyone got their hopes up. Rabbi says, question, how strong is your midfield for the likes of the City Liverpools of the league?
Next.
Ravi, a paper bag when it gets wet, there's your answer.
Don't drop a bottle of whiskey into it.
Troz, I've never bet against us before. That's shows you where it goes, Troz, when it's like that. There you go. Look, Matt saying Jonathan David signed for Juventus.
Juventus. Thanks, Matt.
Saying, Juventus as well. I mean, Richard tell you this as well. Arsenal apparently was connected with him, but he weren't going to come to the Premier. He was going to stay out in Europe.
I think he was too.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, I think I'm surprised he hasn't gone to someone like Lyon or PSG, if I'm honest, because he's a French-speaking Canadian, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
Mind you, though, who's the Juventus manager coach now?
go on, then you got me there. Who's
I have no idea.
They've just changed over, haven't they?
Yeah, recently, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, wonder if it's a French-speaking guy, you know?
Well, if that's the case, he could have got to Sunderland. Their manager's French, isn't he?
Yeah.
Peter's saying Sullivan always does deals late as he wants to save on wages. Yeah. I thought the board were going to put 90 million for some transfers so we don't miss out. Yes, well, it's the case of they can put in 90 million. But
yeah, well, they already have. They're just waiting for the check to clear.
What, the rubber one?
You know what I mean?
David's saying, Peter, we get Diouf. The sign of him and Wan-Bissaka would make up for it. Both extremely good value. Yeah, I mean, it's getting it over the line, but don't haggle over €5 million. For fuck's sake, just get it done. It's easy.
I know. Look, what is that? That's about £3.9 million.
Yeah, nothing. You know, pay that in bloody rent. Yeah, I thought it was rent. Yeah, we've ascertained it was obviously there. That's the one. Malik Diouf, done. Yeah, absolutely, Damien. Let's get that deal over the line with.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know something? And I said this last night, you probably remember, if Kudus is going to go to Spuds, and it looks like that could be on the cards, if he's going to go to Spuds, I think we got to dig our heels in and go, no, you can have him, but we want this much plus Bissouma. We need to get Bissouma out of Tottenham. He's not going to get game time at Tottenham with all the people around him. And he's worked with Potter before. He knows how to run Potter's game in that centre midfield area. I think we need to get him. I really do.
Well, the kudos thing for me in that, and you know, and don't get me wrong, we've got good money for Rice. You know, that was about time we got good money for a player.
Yeah.
Put a sell-on clause, because if it all goes Pete Tong at Spuds, he ain't going to want to hang around there either. He want to move on.
Yeah.
Let's make something out of it. Even if if he does go there, which we'd never hear the end of it. If that does happen, for one.
No, true. But the thing is, you know, like I've got a few mates that are Tottenham fans, and quite often they'll go, "Oh yeah, thanks for Michael Carrick," or "Thanks for Jermaine Defoe," or whatever. And I go, yeah, you wouldn't have had a decent player without West Ham, would you? And that's my answer every time.
Yeah,
you know, yeah. I say, look, you Chelsea, you all have to thank us for our academy and for the players that we've provided you. You know.
No, it's true. I mean, look, Matt's saying here, not a fan of selling our players to our main rivals, regardless of the pound. Wasn't the purpose of the move was to compete and keep our best players? 100% on that, Matt.
Yeah.
One step forward and 50 backwards with the owners. And this is the thing, you know, Moyes got us, you know, a Europe Conference trophy. We won something, and that's when we should have, you know, moved on from that, built on from there, and we shouldn't be looking at the position we was last year. But no, we have to go sideways and then backwards, and we're in the shit as we are now.
I mean, look, I think, right, myself, that David Sullivan and co are basically best part done. Okay, you know, I think they're just keeping warm in the tray. You know what I mean? I don't think they really want to invest any further into this club. Yeah. I think they want to go, but they want as much of that as they can get for the club to go. Now, the thing is, there's been a lot of talk about American investment, and a lot of links have turned up with American companies, i.e., you know, the is it no not Brewdog, because I've found out.
Brewdog. There's Brewdog. There's another thing we've just signed. Who's the other? We're supposed to have sorted out some drinks thing as well.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of American investment in that respect coming into the club and stuff. I would not be against an American businessman coming in. Let's just say what is it, 600 million he wanted for the club, wasn't it?
Something like that, even though they valued us at £1 billion.
Yeah. Let's just say he comes in and he gives them their 600 million, right? And he then installs the CEO, right? Because he's far too busy to worry about the day-to-day running of a little soccer club, right? But I know that they're a good investment. I've seen that they've won a trophy in Europe recently, etc., 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 right? Maybe he's a West Ham fan. Who knows? You know what I mean? But he goes, I don't know how to run a football club, so I'm going to get someone in. So let's just say he employs somebody along the lines of like a David Levy or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that kind of person, somebody that knows football. And he brings them in, they run the club, right? You will find the club will be a selling club. We will be buying players in at reasonable prices and selling them off at decent prices. But we'll also keep a core team. I think it's going to be a change of management that will completely change the structure of our business acumen.
Totally agree on that. Totally agree on that.
And it needs someone to come in and go, right, it's my way or the highway. This is the man that's going to run the club. This is the woman that's going to run the club for me. She is your final destination if you want to go above anybody. This person here is top dog at West Ham United. It's my money, and I'm employing this person here to run the club and the company. And you know that's what it needs, and it needs to be clearly defined that yes, we're going to have a director of football, we'll have a head coach, we'll have a team of coaches, we'll have the medical staff, we'll have all the recovery staff, we'll have the dietitians and all this, that, and the other, all in place, because they will start trying to run it like an American football club. And the way they run them, they have scholarships and all sorts.
Yeah.
So our academy would benefit because more players will get scholarships because they believe that scholarships are paid back in dividends when they become professionals. I mean, you look at people like LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Yeah, he was a scholar. He was a high school scholar.
Yeah.
Right. I think the club or whoever it was that sponsored his scholarship, I think they put in something like $250,000.
Bloody hell.
For him from the age of like 13 to 18 to have all his education and all his training and his physical training, his dietary and all this, that and the other. I think it was something like $250,000.
Jesus.
His first transfer fee was something like $70 million.
Man, that's for just handballing the ball, basically, when you think about it.
Isn't it? You know what I mean? So sorry, guys, we only made 60 some odd million
on top of you. Man,
sorry,
look at that. A single pie mash at the London Stadium is over £10.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the liquor that they do is fucking disgusting. It's disgusting, honestly.
Well, if you're coming from Essex Way and that, you stop off at Debden Station, go to Kelly's there and that, quality pie and mash and that, and then up the game.
I'll go to Kelly's it's J. Kelly's, isn't it? Oh God, what's the name of the place?
You got one in Bow, isn't you? There was a Kelly's in Bow.
Bow.
Yeah, there's the one in Bow. I think this is our Kelly's, the one that's in Debden.
Our Kelly's. I believe I'm a pie.
If I go there on the weekend, I said you missed a trick on the side there.
Yeah.
Peter
you should go in there and start singing it. I believe I'm a pie.
Kicked out of me ass at one point. Peter saying woulda, coulda, shoulda is a West Ham motto. Yeah, it seems to be the new trademark now. Move that sign behind me on the old roof there and put that instead.
Yeah.
Brendan saying, talk to Claret Blue kits. I do like the Drahiga United checks and Trabzonspor stripes efforts more than the West Ham United one. That green thing is a distraction. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, there, Steve. That's what it's going to be at the end of the window. We tried, but
absolutely, that's what we're going to get.
Have we flogged Excuse me, Frog saying, have we flogged anyone yet? No, he's not.
No, I don't think that's legal anymore. I think that went out with Queen Victoria. Flog him.
Trudge is asking, is it actually a good pie mash though? That's the thing for that single pie.
No, it's not, Trudge. It's not. I honestly, I paid 11. I think it was £11. Yeah, I think it was £11. Yeah, it was something like £13.50 with a cup of tea in a plastic, cup.
Jesus Christ.
£13.50, and I had 2 bites of it, and I threw it in a bin. Fucking horrible. The mash is packet mash.
Oh, truth. Yeah, cheap and easy again.
Yeah, the liquor is just. I think it's just like
piss water.
Yeah, it's horrible, mate. It's disgraceful. And the pies, well, I think they're just cheap as the pies, to be honest.
As Mama says, make sure that there's 40 people in the chat, so if you haven't done it already, please make sure you do that as well. It does help the channel out, and obviously me and Budgie love that as well.
Yeah. Oh, just incidentally, guys, because of the events of today and the sad news that we received on Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, we're not doing a Green Street Elites tonight. We're going to resume that again next week.
Yeah. So, thank you for that. Ray said we'll get Craig David. I'm not sure which day of the week you'll side, though. Trusty says I had Brooks pie mash yesterday the wrong way up because Ravi said you've got to turn it over and leave the pie that way. Harry says not Sunday, he chills on a Sunday. That's very true. Peter saying, have you two signed up for a new Thunderbirds film? Yes.
Yeah, which one of us is brains?
Well, I'm going for the hood. With the eyebrows, I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think you'd be all right with that one. Yeah. Oh, gee, Mr. Tracy. That's my favourite childhood memory is Thunderbirds.
How advanced it was. I mean, when they did the modern day film and that, it could have been a lot better, but yeah.
But you know who got the finances together and directed and produced that movie, don't you?
Jonathan
Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes, from Star Trek, and he's directed a few
Next Generation.
Yeah,
he has, and I thought he done a pretty good effort for an American. For an American, it weren't a bad effort. I thought the casting was really good.
Storyline could have been a bit better, I think.
It could have been.
That's what it kind of killed a little bit.
But casting the Hood, what was his name?
Ben Kingsley, wasn't it?
Ben Kingsley. I don't think you could have casted anyone better for that part.
No, exactly. Well,
he was fantastic.
The only one you could have done with that, and do you remember Max von Sydow when he played Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon?
Yes, I do. In Flash Gordon,
he would have been a good shout.
Yeah.
Matt's saying about on Tuesday he takes her for a drink. Usually got some bets on for Friday. Derry, Drahiga, Shelbourne, and Bohemians. Very nice. Okay. Good calls, no usually says. That shirt is bland as fuck, he's saying. Yeah. Mind you, that one that Adam showed the other day that looked like pajamas top, that was more colourful. That would have been more better to use that. Definitely would have been AI generated kit. No, that's the real thing. It's on the West Ham
website.
Yeah.
And they've done this, they do their promo videos.
Yeah, they've done all that as well,
Yeah. And that's where that line came from that I shouted out earlier. Oi, Jared, are you getting changed? That's from the promo video. One of the comedians. But they're wearing the current kit, the one that you just seen the image of. That is it, mate. That is the kit.
Quite interesting though, there's a few players on there that are not shown, and one of them is actually Kudos. He's not in the video.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Paqueta.
Yes, very true. Frog says, "Where's
or
the
Emerson?
Blue?" Emerson as well. Yeah, keep them going for the list. Where's the effing blue? Well, that small little strip underneath the armpit, and if you look around the collar bits and around the neck bit, That's about it. That's the only blue you see on it.
That's it, Froggy. That's it, mate. They should have done Boyle Sports in the light blue, shouldn't they?
Is it Ball Sports logo is completely? It's like there's red in it. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. I mean, if they were going to do completely change the logo for the sake of the kit, why not do it in the blue to match, the under of the arm patch and the neck? They did that way. At least we would kind of associate it a little bit more as claret and blue kit.
Yeah.
With the sponsorship,
Matt's saying 3-0 Spain versus Portugal, so the ladies are not doing well in the World Cup. Wow. Steve Cox says, "What does United buy more even mean?" Well, as Budgie said, I think they missed out an O there.
Or what? United buy more money.
Yeah, no, that'd be United. We need more money.
Yeah.
United buy more. I think they missed a trick there, Steve. I think they should have put another O in there, and that would have made more sense. Not the kind of Because if you look at the video, it shows. I think what they're trying to do there, they're showing more diversity because there's. I think there's
men's and women's players.
Men's and women's in there. I think there's also special needs in there as well. There's a few, all the different. So yeah, they're probably they're going for the ED&I basically. That's what they're doing with.
Yeah, it's a good job that the new shirt isn't rainbow coloured.
Watch this space. Watch this.
What's the third kit?
You ain't seen that yet. Yeah. David said he doesn't mind it at all. Is it all to win usual? Oh, that's the bet he's on about yet. Trosh says it's a relegation kit. Looks like Burnley. Yeah, they're preparing us. That's what they're doing, Trosh. Yeah, you're probably right there. Matt's saying this season is a historic one because it's 10 years at the shithole, at 130th birthday, and they give us that crap. Yes, because basically, I don't know if you saw a show I did before, Matt. Karen Brady's apparently her remit is as long as we stay in the Premier League. That's it. Don't worry about any cups or anything like that. As long as we stay in the Premier League, that's the answer. Oh, we're doomed, man. We're doomed.
Thanks for that, Baroness.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Good evening, Neil. He says the shirt now matches the badge. Crap.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, the franchise FC mobs. David said the Ball Sports is a bit pikey, but the rest is okay. Another Karen Brady blooper. As Brendan said, it's not even the logo. I mean, I don't know if I can show it. Let me just see if I can find the logo on the phone. Bear with me, mate, so you can see what it's actually supposed to look like.
I'm surprised they didn't have Susan Boyle in the video, though. That would have been funny.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
Right. Okay. So Boyle in white, Sports in light blue, and the red highlights above and below the B. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Well, that would have looked really nice if those red highlights above and below the B, if they'd just been white outlines so that you can see the shirt colour through them.
Yeah. So look at that.
And then white Boyle. And then the light blue Sports would have been perfect.
Yeah.
That would have represented our colour schemes,
That just shows you they can't get that. I mean, we look at, look at that logo there to what I've just shown you.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Is it even the same company, I ask myself? And, to be fair, are Boyle Sports happy with that logo being on the shirt?
Well,
as it isn't their logo. Wonder if that gets changed over the next few weeks.
That's probably why when you look at the figures I was talking about, we're supposed to get 12 million with this deal, but then they said after all the bits and pieces, there's like 10 million. That's probably because also we have cheapskated the logo. Peter says defo looked like a non-league kit. Harry's saying Sully wanted to save money by using 1-0 or more the type. Yeah, 1-0 instead of 2 for the more of the type. See you next Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah.
Someone says, look, it looks like Hearts FC.
That's true. And it also reminds me of an old Crystal Palace kit from years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Look, we'll take Burnley's place. It's saying Udra saying Frog in Sullivan's office on a video. Bloody hell. Frog says needs blue hoops or something on it. Matt, yeah, looks like the Villa kit as well. Yeah, more closely resembled to that as well. Totally agree on that. Troy,
And do you remember that Man City away kit a couple of seasons back?
Yeah, that was bloody awful. That.
Yeah, but that was also that kind of shirt, that kind of colour for that shirt.
Yeah,
they
that's
had
true.
that kind, Well, I say a couple of years ago, probably more like 4 or 5 years ago.
Trosh says, why do we still have a crap badge? Because as far as they're concerned, it's appealing to the kind of marketing people who then can sell the the products.
As London products.
It's surprising we haven't got like West Ham, China, and New York, just like you see the clocks in buildings and stuff like that. It's just it's literally a franchise site. It is.
Yeah.
It's not really what we remember as the West Ham logo. That's for sure. Yeah, not many like it.
Mate, if we were to go for a watch sponsor, it would probably be Mickey Mouse watches, wouldn't it? On our shirts.
Matt's saying it's a multi-year sponsorship. Tony, not sure how that's going to work. Well, they say the gambling stops on shirts as of the the 26-27 season. So that's we only got him for one season, but
there is also though that there is also some talk I heard, can't remember where, that Boyle Sports may actually have an outlet or whatever you want to call it, a shop front or something within the stadium somewhere, which means that that's probably why it's a multi-year sponsorship, because I think they're going to get. I don't think it'll be a permanent fixture. Mm-hmm. It'll be like one of these, semi.
Yeah, I suppose another way they earn their money that way, and vice versa. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I believe that was one of the things that was mentioned, that they would be getting at least one or two hard stands, if you like, on site.
I don't know whether they fit it. Fox says he's right with a claret and blue gimp mask. He's gone in there as well. Matt says that green crap ruins our shirts, but JD got more stick.
Yeah. I'll tell you where they would put it, or where I would put it if I was going to do it. That bit at the end, that's supposed to be a restaurant-y bar bit. They never open it on game day.
That's true.
Why not have that as why not have that as the Boyle Sports?
Give it purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, Boyle Sports. What do you call it? What's the word? Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, yeah. Hospitality, that's the fella.
Yeah, make a big give of it. Good evening, Mark, as well. Hey, Tony and Budgie. Without my glasses, the new shirt looks like Bowen Sports. Come on, you eyes. It's true. Trosh, bring back the bowling badge. That's what we all know, don't we? That's all what we love.
Yeah. I mean, look,
that's our roots.
I wouldn't mind the current badge if it didn't have London underneath it. If it was just the cross hammers, I could live with that. I really could, because it's the cross hammers at the end of the day that our club is synonymous with. Always has been. The cross hammers was on our badge before the castle ever was. So
another way of making money. Good old Baroness, as you said. Leon saying different company, new name. The betting side is named differently.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Budgie, could be that. Steve said next season chip paper when New Balance takes over. Thank you, Matt. 4-0, Spain versus Portugal. Bloody hell. Peter saying the London bit makes us look amateurish. Even Little Orient don't have to stoop that low. That's us, isn't it? That's her from her apprentice days, that is. Daz says, good evening to you as well. Daz, usual any tips? I need some money, he says.
I kind of admire the GSB frame of mind when they did put London on the badge to some degree, okay? Because it was available. Nobody had it on their shirts. London. Nobody.
Yeah.
And it is the capital city of the country. And they saw an opportunity for London and West Ham to be synonymous with each other in football. And so for that, I applaud that, but it looks gash on our shirt.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. For one off on that, when you first moved there, you can get the idea of it. But really, even still then, it was still, when we saw this, and it's like, well, what's the London bit for? Just,
we all know where we're from.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Matt's saying it, Peter, the London is for the tourists and the armchair mugs. Peter's following up saying, take it the Amazon deal swam down the river, if there's any truth in it.
Well, we don't know about that yet. I think that may have been held off because, as someone suggested, going from Betway to Boyle Sports, maybe there's some kind of link going on. And until that is ended, maybe Amazon have been asked to hold off.
Possibly. We'll see. Evening, Dazzy saying as well. Good evening, Stephen Spraggs. Good to see you, and thanks for the comment as well. 12 million for one season deal. My son just said, watching from his own. Hope your lads are well. Steve, yeah, all good, mate. Hope you are as well, Steve. Thanks for coming in.
Good evening, Stephen. Thank you for joining us, mate. Lovely to see you, pal.
Absolutely.
I hope your health's getting better, mate.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? Troy said, "Love the old badge with the cast with the scrolls." Yeah. Too classy, we say there. Steve Cox, even though I'm an armchair mug these days myself, he says, laughing out loud. Jesus. Stephen Sprague says, Jesus, that new shirt is an abortion. Yes.
Glad you like it, mate.
Oh, look at that. Look. From Damien. Mourinho has just got Duran and Asensio on loan. What a champ.
Damien, fair play, mate. You've been calling Mourinho's name out quite a while, quite a lot. Fair play. I mean, yeah, he does attract a good player.
Of course he does.
And and with most of the teams he's been with, first couple of seasons are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
You can't judge him on what happened at Tottenham.
Yeah, well, any manager goes there, and that bloody hell. Trust it's about the new kit. Is it even claret? He's saying it looks more reddish.
No, it's definitely claret.
Yeah, just I think because there's too much of it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Damien's saying we need to get the Diouf deal done. The minute we make that signing, or back Potter more, we've got to show some ambition. That's for sure.
Yeah. And Diouf is a decent player. Real decent left back.
Yeah. Agree. Matt's saying about Steve Cox, he says, but mate, what's different about you in an armchair? You know about the club when a proper armchair just dips his toe in the pool to see if it's cold. What a shout. Not too sure. Yeah, not wrong there. Yeah. Burgundy character. Yeah. Casey Jones. Neil saying, what are they going to do for tourists if we go down, which looks to be a very possible scenario at the moment?
Well, you know that the
steaming and a rolling.
You know that the season ticket prices will come down again dramatically, which they will have to. And we'll be going up to the government again. Please, sir, can we have some more? We need to prevent that from happening at any cost, even if it does mean selling, all of our best players. We have to avoid the drop, And what I mean by selling our best players is getting the best possible money we can for them and getting maybe 2 replacements for everyone we sell, at decent prices. I mean, let's be fair. Kudus is brilliant. He's great. If we could get 65 million for him, let's say 60, because a lot of people are quoting 50 to 55, and I think we could get closer to 60 for him. If we did get 60 for him, we could go out and get 2 decent £30 million attacking midfielders.
Yeah,
quite easily.
You go
to the Dutch league, you go to the Belgian league, You can go to the Swedish or the Norwegian leagues. They've all got great players. They just don't get seen. They just don't get seen. I mean, look, that Vincenzo Llorente, the guy I identified over in Holland, plays for Groningen, and for me, he would be the perfect Declan Rice replacement that we've never got. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we never replaced. We know that. We know we haven't replaced.
Yeah,
Declan, that's for
and
sure.
all we've done is just tried to plug the holes. Square pegs and all that sort of thing. It's just not been good. If we had a player like that, one that could emulate Declan's game to some degree. I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good as Declan because I don't believe anyone is. But he would be a very good replacement. He likes to break forward. He's great in defensive mode. He scores the goals. He assists the goals. He plays the ball out. He pings it wide, and he does all of that Declan does. Declan just does it with a Rolls Royce engine, and he's using a Vauxhall engine, maybe. At the moment.
True. True.
He's upgradable though because he's still quite young. He's 22. 22, I believe he is. Declan at 22 was very similar in ability and finesse. Declan's just improved, hasn't he? He's upgraded every season.
Yeah, which is good to see. I mean, not saying it's Arteta that's done that. I think that's more the player myself. But
well, look. I mean, I think David Moyes and his backroom staff throughout his entire tenure here have to take a massive amount of credit for the player that Declan Rice is. And Declan himself has to take a massive amount of the credit, but also, equally, I think we as fans we can be, a little bit selfish and take some of the credit for it because without our love for him, without the songs about him and the atmosphere every time he came out on the pitch and performed, without our supporters, he may never have got to be the player he is.
No, I agree on that. Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout, mate. It's a good shout. See if you can answer one this though from Peter. Peter, he's asking this Malaki Doof, or is Milasha Doof, is he related to the spitting doof?
Oh, the one from we played him in the Europa League first year.
Yeah, Haji Doof. Yeah.
No, I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is. Wasn't he on loan from a British club at that time?
Was it Newcastle he played for? No, Liverpool as well, wasn't he?
Fulham.
He went all over the place, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was welcome back in. He goes, "What in Jesus is that? Our kit? Yes, that is our kit."
It is indeed, Ian.
Glad you like it. Glad you like it.
Yes, it's very generic.
Yeah, they're talking about Austria, like the kudos thing, and now that's going on.
Yeah.
Again, apparently, according to one of the Spurs channels, we've turned down their offer that they came in with first of all. So we are looking to kind of get a bit more money, which, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
let's take the money and run.
We were never going to accept 30 million for him. I think that's what the offer might have been.
Yeah,
I think that was what the offer might have
been. Steve Cox saying you've got to be worth a punt at 20 mil. Skull's not a left wing back yet, in my opinion. I mean, he's still got a bit to learn, and it was good to see him get game time. Can't deny that. But
and we will see a lot more of him around the first team this season.
It's just a fact.
I think we'll see a few more minutes for him, etc. But even those of us that aren't particularly happy with the Potter appointment will have to admit that he does improve players and that he can coach players on a one-to-one very well. And Ollie Scholes is the kind of player that does very well
Yeah.
under Potter, which is why I think it's imperative that we get Basuma out of Tottenham if we sell Kudus to them. I think it's imperative that we do that, because you give Potter one of his old generals back, I think you'll see a completely different Potter and a completely different game.
Well,
I like Basuma. I think I rate him highly.
the problem is, though, we need to improve him because he seems to have gone downhill since he joined Spurs.
Yeah, because he's
That's
not
the problem.
getting game time. He's
Yeah,
not being
yeah.
given any kind of arm around the shoulder treatment and all this, that, and the other. He's been left out in the cold a little bit, you know. And we know what happens to players. Their head drops, the game drops, you know, and that's unfortunate, but it is a fact of football. You know, if you're left out in the cold for whatever reason, your head drops, you know. That's why when players come back from injury, that even when they're fit physically, they're never match fit, because that mental barrier, because they've been out of the loop for so long, it takes a little while to restart that process in your mind, you know.
Yeah, I think Cummings is going to go at the under-21s. I don't think he's going to, as Trosh says, he's a pound shot Ferguson, Cummings at the moment. I mean, the kid's only 19, so they've obviously seen something in him. It's what we do with him, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matt's saying I would swap JWP for Downs back, get Flynn Downs back.
Yeah, good shout, that one, Matt.
Trosh is saying when we signed him, the rumours were saying we promised him first team football.
I'm taking it that's Downs.
No, it's Cummings. I've heard this as
right.
well. That's one of the reasons why. You know what I mean? Yeah, so he won't be dropped to play 2, just like El Hermi was. It wasn't exactly. Damon saying strikers will fare well in Potter's system. The wide men stay closer to them and don't need to track back as much. But what will block Potts, Matt? Sullivan. There's the one who's going to block him, and he deals.
Yeah.
Damon on a table like playing with fuck of this one typing. Daz, I was pissed today, usual. I mean, we still ain't got a clue when this bloody hearing's going to be with Briquetta as well. This is just getting longer and longer.
Well, it's the hearing's done and dusted, isn't it?
It's the outcome, though.
Yeah, it's the decision-making process that's taking all the time. Now, you can imagine, right, that they said it's an independent panel.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So you can imagine that the FA have got their legal representative going, you know, kill. And you can imagine Paqueta's got his defence, representative going, mercy. And the people in the middle are going, hang on, look, fuck off and leave us alone. Let us make our decision. You know, and I reckon this is going, you've got to consider this, you've got to consider that. And they're going to have to go through the whole of the process of looking for all of the evidence, etc., again, to make their decisions. You know, they're going to have to, because that's probably why it's taking so long. You know.
Rich Knight and Arsenal saying crazy, but it makes you just want to say to Redknapp, take charge for 1 year. And he's an Arsenal fan now, Rich. So I keep thinking, like I mentioned to Tony on his live he did the other night, what manager even? Mourinho? Bielsa? Because he said about Bielsa. Would you take the old Bielsa as manager to replace Potter?
I wouldn't. No. He'd done a great job at Leeds.
Yeah, made out he couldn't speak English and that, but he used to laugh on the camera when they was talking to him. So he understood every single bloody word.
Yeah, he probably just couldn't speak it, confidently. And then didn't want to make an ass of himself. But yeah, he done a reasonable job at Leeds, but he was eventually replaced.
Yeah. Good evening,
that worries me.
He's saying hello to everyone. Lee Stay from TV. Hello, everyone. Hope you're well, Lee.
Good evening, Lee. And we speak of Leeds, and Lee
He
pops
comes
up.
exactly. Steve's saying, love a Guinness.
Brilliant timing.
Yeah, Guinness is good, Steve. I don't mind a Guinness every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying
That's all I was drinking when I was going through my
the
treatment.
iron. Yeah,
Yeah.
good
I
for
was
you.
drinking bottles of it every day, 2 or 3 bottles of it every day.
Nice.
You know, like a medicine, you know, rather than getting drunk off of it. But when I did go to the pub, I'd have a pint of Guinness, you know, instead of a pint of lager.
I think Ajala's better suited playing as a winger. Not a bad shout there, Damien.
Mm.
Usually saying, Leon, I like Guinness, but not in this cold weather. Not in this weather. You can get the extra cold Guinness as well.
Yeah, true.
I do like to drink usually. I don't drink too much though. Oh, I drink too much, he says. Matt Neil saying Chumbawamba sounds like something from Star Wars. Yeah, that's his cousin, twice removed. Matt saying Mobamba got bad advice from those supposed to be looking after his career. Not a bad shout there. Look, yeah, I decided was saying hello to Rasta Stocks as well. Much love there. Peter saying Mobamba started FA Cup game and scored. Harry saying alcohol is poison to humans. Some more than others, Harry. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Steve, there's not much we could do about Mobamba when Man City came calling it to turn a future profit. Yeah, it's what Pep can do with him. That's the question. Chadleaf is a prime grooming area.
I think that should be rephrased.
Prime grooming for talent for footballers.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Can't beat a nice cold Guinness. There you go, Leon. Absolutely, yes. Rich, thank you very much for that comment. Yeah, great stream, guys. Rich, thank you very much,
Thank
mate.
you.
Let us know when you're back online as well, mate. We'll come over and say hello to you as always. Good evening, Lee. They're saying as well. Good evening, all. JB. Good evening, JB. Hope you well.
Evening, JB.
And of course, as usual, all the love being shown to each other.
Yeah, mate.
Neil saying normally Heaths is known for dogging Troj. Good old Lamont Facebook. Yeah, Neil Lamont, David Plate. There's a few to mention, isn't there?
Yeah.
And of course, we always use the word on this channel, allegedly. Allegedly. We have to throw that word in.
That's right. Yes, exactly that. Exactly that.
Trust says, we normally have some experts in house on that deal. Oh, man. Thank you, Lee. He says, everyone hit the like button and subscribe. And of course, make sure you go and see Lee Statham TV's channel and do exactly the same thing as well, please. Really appreciate that. And as always, you know, Budgie and all the others. JB says, good evening, Des, mate. Richard saying, Tony, my friend, my friend actually died today, an old school football friend. I hadn't seen him for about 12 years. I kept putting off going to see him, and he got very ill all of a sudden and was in the hospice. Which, you know, I had it happen to one of my friends. I've known him since the age of 3. I was lucky enough to see him before he passed, and I'm very thankful for that. So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, sorry to hear for your loss as well there, Rich. Really am.
Yeah.
Moss, good evening to yourself. Good afternoon to yourself. Good afternoon. Happened over here in hockey earlier, Simmer. 2 hockey players. One was amazing, Johnny Gadrew, and his bro Matthew, killed by a DUI driver while on their bikes at their sister's wedding. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. As we said earlier, no, when it's your time, unfortunately. But yeah.
But you know, we're not kind of uncaring and unfeeling here on this channel, and you know, it's regrettable that anybody loses their life in tragic circumstances like this. But you know, for the sake of the fact that you know the Premier League has lost one of its best performing players today, I think you know want to bring it kind of back down to earth in that respect. That you know, it's not just Liverpool or you know the Northeast or whatever that's going to suffer because of it. The whole of you know the Premier League suffers because he was a light. He was a shining light. He was a good player.
Yeah, he was.
And everybody enjoyed watching him play. Not so much when he scored against your club, but you can't deny the man played football beautifully.
But when you look at it, though, Budge, we've had 3 people like we've had Moss, we've had Rich, and obviously Brendan mentioning it. Just shows you, yeah. And as like Rich is saying here, look, gone in 1 month from finding out. My friend was virtually in a similar position. A little bit longer than that, but once we found out, it wasn't long after. Yeah. And
I lost one of my pals not too long ago as well. So.
Yeah, it's not good, mate, is it? It's not good. Apparently, Butch, Harry's dogging a wedding at the moment while he's in the chat.
Fair play at your age.
He's very talented. He's multitask.
Yeah, mate.
Moss is adding, made the hockey world and family all come together and still paying tributes now. That's great, Moss, isn't it? I mean, it just shows you rivalry, as we said, even in the football community. Rivalry aside, when things like this, yes, we do come together,
and it does also give us opportunities, like we're seeing right here, right now, gives us opportunities to also learn about other tragedies, around the world that are happening, and it gives other people a chance, if it's on a personal level for them, gives them a chance to talk about it a little bit with people that aren't going to judge you. Nobody in here judges you. If they do, they get kicked out. Simple as that. So I'm glad that we're able to do that. That people can share these things.
No, it's true. That's true.
It's
absolutely. I think it is. Yeah, and as we all know, like we you as well, Budge. Channels like mine, like yours. That's what it's here for. If you need to talk about it, we're here. We're here all the time. 100%.
Absolutely.
Crosby's saying to Harry, let GP go if he's dogged. Yeah, Leon's agreeing with that, saying it's back to Moss. Harry saying though, interestingly, it's always Anthony's car in the car park for the dogging thing. I'm not surprised by that at all, really. Moss is saying they called him Johnny Hockey, but yeah, big condolences to that family. Jotters, yeah, absolutely, Moss, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big up to yourself, Moss. Sasky saying, yeah, Jota's always scored on the Arsenal. Yes, he loved the Arsenal. He loved West Ham and all, unfortunately. Yeah. Steve says, wonder my screen was shaking, Harry. So Peter, I mean, where does it end? How many more keepers do they want to sign? Let's sign 2 or 3 more keepers now. Bloody hell.
They can legally play 11 players in every game. Why not have 5 in goal?
Yeah, true.
Make sure they go win the league with no goals conceded.
Yeah, no fuckers getting past us.
Yeah,
Brendan saying, according to you, Anthony's got hundreds of 70s cars in his yard.
Yeah.
Matt, appreciate you being with us, and thank you for the comments. Really love the missus. He's got to love and leave you all. Matrico got me doing the bins, dog walk. Name's Noble, lovely. And fix a cupboard. I'll be on the sofa tonight. Coming you, and stay safe for the West Ham family. And big up to you as well, Matt.
Matt, thank you for coming in, mate. Lovely to see you. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the like on your way out. Have a safe evening. And Noble, great name for the dog.
Absolutely. And look forward to seeing you next time, Matt, in the chat as well. Yeah, Harry's saying that, and he's got quite a collection, apparently. And everyone's saying goodbye to him as well. Much love as always.
Not going to be long before we make a move either, is it really?
No, not far, mate. I've still got to go through a few comments here because there's a few. Yeah. He's not too safe, methinks. Yeah. Richard saying, Steve Cox, thank you. I should have gone and seen him. Just shows always expect the unexpected in any situation, good, bad, or sad. Yeah, very true.
Absolutely, Rich. Absolutely, mate. Condolences to you and friends and family, mate.
Ian saying Jota was a wonderful player. The best thing was he didn't start every game, absolutely, but never seemed to moan. And when he did come on, he was always ready and usually scored. Sign of a great team player. Great comment, Ian, and I definitely agree on that.
And also that also highlights what I said earlier, was like he was Liverpool's version of Pablo Fornal. Pablo was like that. He would always have a smile on his face if he was subbed off or came on as a sub.
Yeah.
You know, and always reliable. You know, you'd always get something out of Pablo. You know, not always leading to a goal, but you know, you always get something.
It give you something at least.
Yeah.
Trust says, aren't Lambos fiberglass mostly, or is that just Lotus's? Lotus is a bit of both, same as Lambos.
Yeah. Well, actually, these days, Lambos are carbon fibre, and
carbon fibre, some aluminium, and that light composite,
and plastics. Trust me.
Yeah,
plastics. Yeah.
Yeah, the usual saying. Saskia Point's just been nicked drink driving in Cheshire. Yeah, he didn't, and the picture didn't do any justice with his eyes. That's for sure. Harry often ends up overnights in spots in the van. Often wondered if I could make a few quid with coffee and teas. Ever the opportunity is frog. I love that.
That was Paul Ince has just been done for drinking and driving. What was his excuse? He'd just been to the Last Supper.
Well, if you look at the picture they did him, and that he's got one eye looking one way and one looking the other. It's just it's not exactly the best one to give him. Trusting my old man nearly killed myself in a Lotus Elan. Yeah,
they were actually really good cars, handled really well. So don't know what your dad did. Maybe it wasn't his fault.
If the back end goes out in them, and that you do know about them.
Yeah, true.
MGTFs are good at doing that and all.
Yeah.
Jamie said, just shows how lucky Antonio was. I mean, and
absolutely, mate.
Absolutely. Bacon sandwich and a wet wipe. David reckon I think Spurs might bottle it with kudos. Well, we're into day 3 of the 10-day window for his release clause, and again, nothing so far. For a sausage out the back, Trosh is saying. Jesus. Harry's asking, cream or milk in your coffee? Yeah.
I prefer milk myself.
Moss is saying, all the news here is the Iceman, David Day to yes, we just mentioned that, to Juventus, yes.
Yeah, Jonathan David, yeah. At least now, West Ham fans like myself and Tony and some others in the chat, we can now be satisfied and happy that the Jonathan David saga coming to West Ham is finally over after 5 windows. It is now finally over.
Yeah, exactly. Good evening to Ethan 4017. Thanks for coming into the chat. We really appreciate your comment as well. Hope you're keeping well. This is mate. Rest in peace, Jossa. Yes, thank you for that as well, mate. And
thanks for coming in and commenting.
Absolutely. And if you know, just let us know. I mean, do you have a channel yourself? Just let us know if you have. And of course, we'll show the love that way as well. Charlie Cresswell, there you go, Steve. Thank you very much for that. Cream is posh, apparently, yes.
Yeah, well, I'll go along with that. Yeah, it's very rich tasting. So, yeah, you know, rich, posh.
When you drink your coffee, do you have the little finger out, Budgie? You know,
nah, do I? I did. Do you know what? I did do it as a joke once. I was at a restaurant with my brother, his missus, my ex. We were at a restaurant. We're having a bite to eat. We're in Exeter, right? And we're having a bite to eat. And I got a coffee, and I picked up the cup, and it only had a silly little round handle, right? So I picked it up, and my little fingers poking out like that. My brother grabs it and goes, "What's that?" I've got coffee all down over my lap and everything. And it had cream in it as well, which wasn't stirred in properly. So by the time it started drying, I looked like I'd messed myself, like a very excited little schoolboy. That's what it looked like. It was horrible. It was my brother. He fucking pissed himself for hours.
Yeah. Amazing. Moss is saying it because obviously Moss is Canadian. Jonathan David, 67 caps, 36 goals for Canada. He grew up in Ottawa, but Haitian parents, so speaks French. And Lille fans yell, Jonathan David.
Yeah. So Moss, a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Peach, who passed away about 3 years ago. He was Canadian. And absolutely loved Jonathan David. In fact, he was the one that kind of like started a lot of the chat because he was hearing it on Canadian media, and then quite a lot of people were talking about him because there were apparently solid links to him. But I first heard it from Peach, believe it or not.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Peter saying Ferguson worked with Potter before, but fuck all happened there. And apparently they're looking to offload him, and they've also reduced the price on him as well, just to try and get shot.
Well, they should. Yeah, they should have done anyway.
Usual. Thank you again. The Juventus manager is Damien Camoli.
Sounds Italian to me.
Yeah. Moss is saying good shot for Basuma. Yeah, Edson Alvarez looked good again last night for Mexico. They've got a 16-year-old phenomenal in Mexico. Gilberto Mora got an assist as well. Bloody hell.
Cool.
Badly packed kebab fan. The innuendos for the chat is, sausages and dirty kebabs and, yeah. Moss is saying Juventus coach Igor Tudor Camoli, the director, right? Thank you for that as well. JB saying, I said Basuma on here about 4 weeks ago. You did indeed, JB.
Yes.
Got laughed at most, but under Potter, he was one of the best DMs in the league at the time. Get him to add experience. He's 28 now, but drives forward as well as DM. Good shout as always.
Great shout, JB. And in fact, it was because of you mentioning it in the chat. I think I was actually in the chat. I think it was another show that Tony was doing. It was on the Sunday Night Takeaway, if I remember rightly, that you mentioned that. And because of that, I looked into him a bit. And that's why I'm saying now that if we do sell to Tottenham, we have to get that man out of Tottenham. And that's the only way we're going to do it, is if we do a deal with them. We're not going to be able to just approach. There's an embargo from Tottenham and West Ham, isn't there?
I think so.
Not to do business with each other. But but if they do take Kudus, I'd be more than happy to get Basuma out of there before.
As long as we get St. Gavin and cash, that's the key thing. Big up, Mr. Joshy J. Celebrate 6 months of membership with the channel. Hope you're keeping well, Mr. Joshy J. Good evening to
Josh.
Eamon as well. Eamon Green. We sign players that would tear it up in the Championship. Only problem is we play in the Premiership. That's our owners for you. Welcome in to Eamon as well.
Welcome, Eamon. He works at the stadium. Eamon does.
Thank you for that, mate.
So he knows quite a lot of the stuff, the technicalities and the legalities of going to the stadium and stuff. So he's always a decent chap to have in the chat. Because if stuff does come up, Eamon can usually put us right on it,
Nice. Thank you, Eamon. Appreciate that as well. Trosh says Basuma proven, so 30 or 40 mil would have thought. Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Like a split tennis ball these days. Jesus Christ. Big up Tony in the chat. Moss is saying, Trosh, Alvarez played his usual. CDM spot for Mexico, scored a goal on a scrambly play. I still don't know why VAR took the goal away. Typical.
Yeah.
Neil saying, Budgie rented ground stadium, mortgage training ground with ports, cabins, no one with money will be shooting enough to pay the toy-loving goblins price. Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Stephen say, got a name for your van, Frog. You can call it the Jason Donovan. Jason Donovan.
No, mate, there's too many broken hearts in this world already.
Oh, my days. Trosh says, why haven't we been linked with El Nesri this window? Give it time, Trosh. Give it time.
Yeah. I think that may have happened already,
Yeah, Damien said here, director of football, they piss it. And Trosh usually said the same thing. It's early days yet, Trosh. Exactly. Moss is saying LeBron James was too good. He never went college, went straight to NBA. Wow.
Oh, really?
Moss would know his shit on that stuff. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah. It might not have been LeBron James I was thinking of, but that's a typical kind of American NBA type story, Daz
is asking, any news about West Ham signing anyone? Yeah, no one. No one does. No one at this moment. Linked with all this, we've got a jet plane with all these players on, but no sign of them. Oh, yeah, we ain't got Steiden anymore, so we can't do that, can we?
No.
Good evening, GP. Hope you're keeping well, mate. We've been,
I think they're warming up the Zeppelin though.
Graham Potter is here. Grant up the Zeppelin, yeah, Jesus. We could say it's going to crash and burn, but that wouldn't be appropriate, I suppose.
No, definitely not.
He went to Turkey, he's saying. Everyone's saying that to GP as well. Good evening, Colin. Hope you're well, mate. Good evening, Tony and Budgie, you wonderful gentlemen.
Colin.
Always a pleasure joining you both. I think American owners are coming, boys.
I think so, mate.
Well, let's hope Tripp can do his work, his wonders. Tripp Smith, let's hope he can do this stuff yet.
Yeah, and if it's the right American owner, who cares where he's from? Who cares if he is American? If he's the right owner for the club.
As long as they can turn this club around, Budge, that's the main thing I want.
We'll drive it forward. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the club driven forward. I hate being in fucking reverse all the time, Tone. I'm getting a stiff neck looking over my shoulder all the time. Seriously.
You think we've got ourselves up to a point where we're kind of, we've got to ourselves to a kind of Porsche level kind of thing. And then before you know it, we're like the old Skoda, the old not Skoda, the old Lada Riva, the old reverse gear stuck. And that's it.
Well, actually, for those 3 years that we were in European competition, we were like a Porsche in some respects. But the fact is, we dropped a Volkswagen Beetle engine into it now. It looks good. Looks good on the outside.
Coughs and sputters all the way, though, unfortunately.
And it's rattling a bit at the joints and all of that,
Oh,
man.
But no, we haven't sold anyone yet. I thought it was an interesting coming that. Not at all. Just said about El Nesri scored 20 goals in 34 matches in Turkey.
Yeah, I think my old granny could have done that,
though. Amos is saying, R. Kelly not good for the young ladies? No, not at all. Well, it's Diddy Coombs at the moment. No chance of El Nesri. Calvert-Lewin incoming. Yeah, well, we have to. It's a tug of war between us and Arsenal on that one, then, by the sounds of it, Steve.
I'm not against Calvert-Lewin coming in.
It's the injuries.
I know he's not the player he was, and yes, he has got injury issues. But I think managed correctly, I think he could be very effective for us. He could be the.
Kelly's in Roman Road. That's the one.
Yeah, Roman Road. That's the one. Thanks. Yeah, that's the one I go to. I think he could be that kind of little missing link for Bowen up front. He can play off of Bowen, and Bowen can play off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of play that Calvert-Lewin thrives with. That fast, one touch, triangular. He doesn't always get the goals, and he has missed quite a few in recent times, I know. But
true.
But when it's him assisting, as well as doing all of that, as part of doing all of that, he assists as well. You've got to remember that not every forward player is a goal scorer. I know he has been, but he's struggling at the moment. But he's helping with assists and stuff.
We'll see. I think, it's what we're going to do this season. I think it's going to be interesting for me. But let me just say hello to Mr. Robo19 TV. Big up, Tony. Big up to yourself, mate. Good to see you in here as always. He's a nice guy, starting off in the YouTube world and now doing very well for himself as well.
Very nice.
Frog saying £13 reply mash. What the fuck? Yeah, £13. I know, man.
Yeah.
This was through some of the comments because obviously we're a few behind at the moment. According to this, 683 comments, Judge. Just a few. Just a few.
Stop talking, you lot. It's like a mother's meeting, their lips flapping all the time.
Look, speaking of the devil, GP turns up. He's saying, look, yeah, they've heard about the dogging. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was it, mate.
Rob Potter is rubbish, yes.
Somebody shone a torch in his eyes, probably.
Steve saying, love Robbins in Stratford. All that congealed blood in the in the sawdust on the floor, appetizer. And GP saying hello to everyone. Always good. Harry Muck saying Team America was better, Budge. Yeah, Team America. What a film that was.
Hated it. It was like Terrorhawks gone wrong.
It was a song though. Team America. Yeah, that part.
We should not be admitting to this shit, Tone. We really should.
This is true. We're young.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
mate.
no,
Sorry,
me
got no
neither.
idea.
I have these flashbacks every now and then. Mark saying, good evening to Michael, please, as well. The West Ham kit looks like PJs. Big up Tony Budgie in the chat. Big up to yourself, Michael. I hope you keep him well.
Evening, Michael. Thanks for joining me.
I take we're keeping Fodringham for the homegrown quota. Yes, it seems to be the case. The Invisible Man. He's still on the books. He ain't going anywhere at the moment.
The way it looks at the moment, he's going to be our number 2 keeper next season.
Jeez, man, you know. GP saying Nick and Clement Bruce said it says relegation. Can that be true? Bloody hell.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, and I love and respect Nick a lot. And for him to say he's looking at relegation, that kind of surprises me a little, because he's never really sort of dived that deep with negativity about the club that I've ever seen. So yeah, that's quite a worrying sign. But I just hope the club can prove him wrong. You know, let's hope that we do something a bit special.
Des is asking the question: do you guys think Pot will be here next season? I have my doubts. I think it all depends on if he's going to get back or not. I think that'd be the key thing for me. I don't know about it for you, Bush, because I think you know, as a manager, if you're not kind of getting the support in it, it's like, well, do I need to be here really? That's the way I'd see it.
Yeah, exactly that, Tone. You know, and the thing is, the club's ambition with getting players in has been really limp. The ambition has been limp. I mean, you look at Brentford, for example. They're running on a fraction of the budget that we are.
Yeah.
Watch out for their new young lad who will start showing up in first team games pretty soon. And that's young Romeo Beckham.
Oh, bloody hell, man. Yes, of course. Yes.
Trust me, I have got a source at Brentford, right? You know, because my nephew used to play in the academy for them. He was an under-21 striker. And he told me recently that Romeo Beckham is destined for the first team this season. So watch out for that. I'll be glad to see it. But we missed a trick there, because if West Ham had shown an interest in him, I'm pretty sure David would have liked him to have come here. Because David Beckham's kind of, he's not a West Ham fan, but he grew up in the area, didn't he? You know, he's got an affinity with the club in some respects. Pretty sure he trained with us, didn't he, for some time as a youth?
There was a little bit, wasn't he? Because I mean, where did he come from around the
Poplar?
No, he's a Waltham Abbey boy.
Waltham Abbey.
Not Waltham Abbey. Walthamstow, around that kind of area.
Oh, is he?
It was around that kind of area.
Right.
You know,
okay. But still, a local boy. To be fair, still far more local than I am.
It was kind of like, is it Leighton, kind of that kind of area? It was around that kind of.
I think it was Leighton, actually.
Yeah, around that neck of the woods. Because I know when I was at Leighton Pennant before it came Walthamstow, his old man worked in as like a groundsman, come barman, and all this kind of stuff. And every time he saw his boy on the TV and that, whatever he was doing, he was stopping his tracks and just watch the TV. And he just admired what his boy was, did.
Yeah. But I think if West Ham had approached the Beckhams and said, look, you know, we're interested in signing Romeo, etc., I got a funny feeling he would have come here. You know,
Would have been a good
See?
shout. Aces is just saying Newcastle United have 55 million bid accepted by Nottingham Forest for Anthony Alanga.
Really?
Wow. Bloody hell.
Alanga. Now he went from United to Forest, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and now to Arsenal.
No, to Forest, Nottingham Forest. So it's not
Oh,
Forest, so to Newcastle.
oh,
Because their first initial bid got rejected. So 55
right.
million has got the deal over the line.
So he's now going to Newcastle
Mm,
from Forest.
yeah.
Right, got you. Thought you said Arsenal. I don't know why.
Michael Chelsea, 80 quid plus delivery, guys. Bloody hell. So even for the long sleeve shirt, you still got to pay delivery on that and all. Yeah, Alanga. Yeah, good sale for Forest there, Damien. Yeah, that definitely is there. So, and that was one of their better players.
Yeah.
Matt saying, watch Forest try and sign Kudos now. Well, if he goes there, I'd rather have that than bloody Spuds. Apparently also linked to the German under-21 striker as well. GP saying, third kit with halterback shorts would make me harder than Daddy Dyer. Peter Chalmers saying, take the badge off and he looks like a Scottish team's kit. I forget the name. Is that Hearts? Hibs?
Hibs or Hearts? Hearts. Hibs are blue and white. Light blue and white, if I remember. Sort of like a Man City type blue. Coventry, if you prefer. Yeah, I think, it's Hearts. Yeah.
Ace is saying Kudus will be on Liverpool's radar after Jota's passing probably. Yeah, Steve's the same as you, Budge. Wouldn't have a problem with the logo didn't have at least under written on it. Yeah, Frog, I said exactly the same thing. I can see it now. New York, Paris, Stratford.
Peckham.
Oh, man. Michael Blee's saying, we advertise we're in London. If people know football, they know we're in London, idiots. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just sums it up, really, in that respects. Usual saying, I watched the big match on ITV4 Saturday morning and Chelsea played in red. Red?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that season.
I
actually remember that season. My brother's a Chelsea fan.
Yes.
And took me to an away game. I was only a kid. 72, 73. I was probably 11 or 12, 10 maybe. My brother took me to an away game. I mean, he was a skinhead and hard as nails. So I thought, well, I'm safe, Right. And at the time, I mean, I wasn't as die-hard West Ham as I am now, of course, because I was only 4 or 5 years into liking football, to be fair. And I went to this game and Chelsea were in red. I can't remember who they were playing. Can't remember who they played now. But it was another team that played in a dark shirt. So they played in red.
Bloody hell. Yeah. Damien's calling it a night. He says, bet your Spurs bottle the Cuda still. Need a recruitment plan for 5-2-3 or 4-2-3-1. Good night, Damien. Thanks for coming into the chat and your comments. Loved loads of them. Really good. Thanks for being with us, Matt. And,
cheers, Damien.
Till the next time, Damien. Absolutely. Peter saying, by modelling the new kit, knows it won't be smashing great super next season. Super smashing great. Apparently, we've also had a bid rejected for Richard Rios. Yes, I saw that one as well.
Yeah. Who was it that Gonzo was talking about.
Gonzo, yeah. GP said, I'd like to see a Budgie and Kieran stand where in 100 years' time they have rival gangs. Big up to Dow, Oregon Goon. So Kudos doesn't want the Arsenal. After all, no, my friend. If it looks like it could be going on the other side of North London, which you off, P us off as well, mate. Dow, I hope you're keeping well. Thanks for coming in as always. Been a long while, mate. I hope you're keeping good. And everyone's saying goodbye to Damien. trying to flood through these comments and that, and as I'm doing it, it's going more and more.
I know they're like that. They do that. They do that to me on a Wednesday night, and I have to skip through them.
Yeah, I might have to do this as well. It's like Mark was saying, Amazon always late. Yeah. Ravi saying, Tony Budgie, great response to the question. You know that well, Ravi. But he's also saying, smash up the likes and subscribe. Respect. Absolutely, my friend.
Yeah. If we do have Amazon sponsorship on our kits.
Here she is.
There she is. Oh, how happy. Yeah, at least if we have Amazon on our kits, at least, when we take a shot, we can be guaranteed at least next day delivery, eh?
Ray saying, would you prefer if the badge was prefixed with the word East?
No, I would prefer it, but I still would prefer it without anything. As I said, I think the badge with just the hammers on it would be acceptable. I would love to see the castle back, but if you really know the club badge history, or if you don't, check out Nigel Khan's video on it, because that's really interesting, really informative. But if you know the history of the club badge, it originally started off with just crossed hammers.
Yeah.
And so, I think that is preferable if you want to be nostalgic. If you want the castle on it, I think it's got to be, I'm sorry, but if you're going to put anything behind the hammers, you got to put the skyline of the top of the London Stadium behind it, and that would look disgusting. So,
true.
The castles don't exist anymore. They've gone. We've got to not forget that part of our history, but we've got to move on from it. We've been forced this move to the London Stadium. This is now 10 years since we've had to do this move. So now we've got to embrace it. I wouldn't want to see, the structure at the top of the stadium. I call it the scaffolding.
Mm-hmm.
I would think something like that behind the badge would kind of be okay. Behind the hammers would kind of be okay, because that does, sort of typify what the stadium looks like.
Now, yeah, I get what you're saying on that respects. Happy saying that shirt. They made sure everyone in the Gods in Row Z could see the sponsor. Obviously, Damien has mentioned about kudos and obviously the devaluing of the price, which is about right. Saying about Potters, but Ace is saying Sullivan was pissed drunk on red wine during home kit presentation.
Yeah, and when they were saying, right, we're going to do the colour now, and he was asking for more wine, he was just going, more claret. Yep, loads of claret. Give me all claret.
Michael saying kudos, 85 million or FDL out off that release clause. And the problem is, you look at the last summer, that release clause was activated then, and no one came in for him. So, and that's when he was supposed to be in form at the time, until we had, this season just gone. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Damien is saying, Brendan, I'll leave for 2 minutes, and Budgie has cost us 35 million already. Saying. So people in the chat, I'm going to whiz through some of these comments just to pick up the ones where we can. Happy saying it. Again, we couldn't match Kudus' ambitions in Europe, and do not blame him for wanting to move on. Been relegation fodder for the last 2 seasons. Yet the Spuds, come on. Yeah. I mean,
current Europa League champions.
We are kind of reluctant to kind of get rid of him, not get rid of him, but at the same point, we don't want to sell with Spuds.
No, but they are the current Europa League champions. Whether we like it or not, we have to acknowledge it, and that could be the deciding factor for him.
Yeah.
They are current. They're in Champions League next season.
Yeah, for now. Michael's saying the whole team underperformed last season, so why all the negativity for Kudos? Because I think, like everything else, we do turn on a player when it goes, especially, I suppose, if it weren't for Kudos' actions, the way he kind of played, it might be a different story. But the way he kind of, he didn't seem like he enjoyed himself. He did when he scored a goal, he didn't celebrate.
I mean, having said that, the whole team underperformed. They kind of did, Michael. But the fact is that I won't have a bad word said about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I felt that he gave everything 110%, 110% of the time he was playing. So, I think that he deserved his Hammer of the Year. I said this last night, but I think he deserved his Hammer of the Year. He was the only player up for it, in my opinion. Even Bowen fell short for me last season. I hate to say it, but that's a fact of the matter. But I think also the weight of that armband on his left arm was a little too heavy for him last season.
I agree on that.
He may have grown into that role a little more now. It might come easier to him this season. Let's hope so.
Good evening to Ian Greaves as well. Evening all. Welcome into the chat. If you're new, if you haven't already done so, and anyone in the background that's watching this, make sure you share, like, and subscribe as always. It does help us as we go along. I'm just kind of whizzing through some of the comments because we're coming into the end. Matt saying that he don't want Basuma. He doesn't fit with getting younger players in. Ian said, joining late, but we will start after. Really don't like the new kit. Rest in peace, Jota. Ian, thanks for your comments as always. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. I know Tony was always out. Matt saying, you don't stalk me apart from on that CB Terraces app, Appy, but I don't mind. Let me just quiz through where we can. This is probably right. It's about Kudos when you look at it's Paqueta. They'll announce the decision the day after the window shuts, which is probably about right. Frog's asking, are we buying players just to flog them? Sounds kind of Ponzi scheme. Can't work us out. Not being funny, that was certain respects that was the Kearns, wasn't it? The Kearns. We used to get players in, turn them multi-million players, and we sold them. And then Terence Brown did exactly the same thing with no bloody no sell-ons.
Yeah.
Vinny Bones, good evening as well. Yeah, a beer a day keeps the doctor away. Yes, it's been proven apparently. Brendan's saying when Tom gets to this post,
when you throw the bottle at him.
Yes. Brendan's saying when Tom gets to this post usual, Budgie might well start singing. It'll be Sunday by then, though. I know. Yeah, look, he's read it out. Use Marvin Gray. Good evening to Ken Hammers. Really appreciate you coming in there, and thanks for being here.
Good evening, Ken. How are you, son? Hope you're well, mate.
Absolutely. The man who went to Tottenham was the man for West Ham, but wasn't to be. We will buy a load of plodders. We are in trouble. And yes, you're not wrong. It is worrying. We can't all undeny that. I think we just got to see some movement. We see some movement, then we'll see. Steve said, I can't believe I missed Damien's grooming comment. I've been through, like I said, you can see there's too many comments. Smash the like, guys. Daz, thank you very much for that. Sorry, this Rich. Yeah, absolutely. People saying there. Daz, definitely Tony, when you got to go, mate. Absolutely. Steve saying, I think I'm one of the few who loved Canute, Peter. Certainly amongst my chicken run mates. Canute was a good player. I liked him as well.
I loved him.
Trust says, good news. Here we go. The deal is done, and El Hadji Malik Diouf will become the most expensive transfer in Czech League history. Well, if that is true, about time we've done something. Bad news was said by Jiffy Sodoma, not Romano. Oh, that doesn't mean it's going to happen then. Peter said, don't mention dog lipstick on this channel. Oh, man. Yes, and we're going to do one of these Green Street Licks on this man, Michael Chelsea. I remember Mark Vivian Furry. That was a dark day for football too. Yeah, The fact that they put the bloody camera on his face.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Jesus Christ.
Disgusting.
Ken Hammers is saying Jota was Liverpool's best finisher, great in the air for his size, could score any goal. I feel gutted for his family, his kids, wife, and of course his brother. It's heartbreaking. And Kent, you're not wrong there. It's it's a dark day for football today.
And to be fair, Kent, you're not the only one to have those feelings about it, mate. We all feel the same way. It's a dark day for football.
30 million now, bloody hell. So Richard Rios' transfer race heats up. El Halal, led by Simeone Inzaghi, shows strong interest in the Palmeiras star. West Ham's 25 million bid was rejected. Palmeiras now want 30 million euros. Bloody hell.
That's who we got Glammy from, wasn't it, Palmeiras?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got.
And apparently, Trosh saying the long-awaited transfer will soon become a reality. According to sports sources, Slavia's agreement with West Ham on the sale El Hadji Malik Diouf is in full swing, with Eden expected to receive a record 25 million euros, over 600 million crowns with bonuses.
Nice. Does that mean we can celebrate this yet? No, we can't, because we haven't seen him holding up the shirt.
No, exactly. Daz, good night as well. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate you being with us.
Cheers, mate. Nice to see you again, pal.
Everyone's saying goodbye to him, which is brilliant. Matt saying one of my old school teaching assistants had a Lotusy land. New of the old ones. The old ones are nice. Happy saying he's got to sort some dinner out now, peeps. So I'll catch up soon. Keep the faith, lovelies, and Happy. It's good to see you. It's been a while. We know you're obviously doing a lot of work and stuff, and always a pleasure to hear.
I know you're always busy, Happy, but let me know how DD is doing, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not necessarily on here. I mean, in private message me.
David said, I wanted Barry, but he's gone. Duran loan would have been good for us. We're going to have to pay for a striker. Loan to buy again, maybe. Loan to buy for Gassan. Are we that ambitious, though, Damien? That's the question.
You know what? I'm glad you read that out, because I was reading it and I saw Greenwood at the end, not Gassan.
Apparently, Matt's saying Sunderland also want him as well, and Wolves. Bloody, they all want. Yeah, can we get hold of a player? Yeah, Damien's saying can't let teams like that beat us for talent. They've already done that though, haven't they? They've already signed someone. Frog saying, what was the Ferguson deal about? Not anything clue this club. A waste of time by the looks of it.
Yeah.
There's hoping that Potter could have done something with him, but that weren't the case. Chris says Arsenal signing Rodrigo, Eze and Gyökeres. What are we doing? We ain't ambitious enough, Chris. That's the problem. But in saying that, I mean, Arsenal are linked with all these players, but nothing's really walking through the door. Kepa is the only one so far. Even that.
That's confirmed now, is it, Kepa?
Kepa's done. The Kepa one is done. They've announced him. I thought his bloody name there. They're supposed to have signed him at the end of last season, and they're still waiting for him to come through the door.
Does that mean that they take offers for David Raya then?
No, he'll still be number one, though, Raya. Matt's saying, obviously, well, they're still Aaron Ramsdale, don't forget. Matt's saying, apparently Liverpool want 40 to 50 million for Harvey Elliott.
Mate, that's a decent price for the player that boy is. Mate, what is he, 22?
Yeah, he's only young, isn't he?
For that kind of price, I think that's a 70, 80 million pound player next season after.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott is a damn good player. I wouldn't haggle at that 40. Well, I'd go in at 40.
Kid wants to play first team football.
Yeah, and he would at West Ham. Yeah,
it definitely for that time, that's for sure.
You know what he would? You know what Harvey Elliott would be? He would be the love child between Mark Noble and Lionel Messi.
Bloody hell.
That's the kind of player he is, though. He does all the hard work that Noble does, but he can do all the stuff that Messi would do going forward. Harvey Elliott does all of that too.
True. He's a worker. There's no.
He's kind of like a perfect mixture between Mark Noble and Lionel Messi. If you know, for me, that's kind of the player that he is. You know, he's a hard-working midfielder that can break forward really easily. That's what he is.
Yeah.
My battery's going to die, and my charger is out in the car.
All right, mate. I'm trying to catch up with Ken here. Trust saying Burnley are working on striker options for manager Scott Parker with Genk and Nigeria forward Tolu Arakadea, 24, and consider actually, but they're doing business. No, we haven't bought Ferguson Frog. That's one good thing. We've sent him back. We have sent him back. Sorry, people. I'm going to have to fly through some of these comments. Really have to. We are stuck behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything kind of sticking out at the moment. Calvert Lewin ain't coming. He's a backup you want to play every week, Damien. Yeah, I think say apparently Arsenal are also looking at him as well. Good evening to David Evans. Will, welcome to the chat. What happened to the result of Paqueta's FA charge? Still waiting, David. Thought it would be this week. Whether it's Paqueta or anyone else, no one should go through this for 2 years with this hanging over his head. I mean, the main thing I think we've mostly said, I know there's quite a few channels, even Budgie, Kieran, I think I've mentioned it. Sue the bloody arse off the FA if he gets to get proven not guilty. You know, we should do it as well because we've had a loss of earnings on the player, and the player himself should do it for stress and anxiety more than anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I make you right. No player should have to go through that, or no person should have to do that as well. David M saying,
and sorry, it's also notable that the whistleblower or blowers Betway are no longer displayed on the front of our shirts.
So yeah, interesting. It very interested. He's saying, "Great show, guys. Deserve more viewers. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much for saying that."
Thank you, David.
Chris says West Ham fans will not be turning up for the next home game against Arsenal. Michael Chelsea, Tottenham Budgie will be here still reading until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you know we will, mate.
This was through. Kent saying David Beckham's from Leytonstone. Now I knew it was around that neck of the woods. Romeo Beckham
left Brentford.
He's
left Brentford.
I think they released him.
Oh, really? Oh. That's weird. Thanks for that, Kent. He knows what he's talking about, Kent.
He's got. I like Kent. I like the comments.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't already done so, if you're on Facebook, look up Kent Hammers on Facebook because his page is full of news and trivia and also historical bits and bobs and that. Great page, brilliant page. Check him out. Thank you. Sorry, Tone.
So, mate. Stephen's saying Beckham started an academy before United. There you go. Budgie Romeo packed in football at the age of 22. Modelling, I think, as well. Ian White, good evening as well. Beckham's got no affinity to West Ham geese. Has always been Man United. You're having a laugh, though. I sign a Romeo Beckham. We don't sign anyone. It's looking good at the moment. Trosh says Romeo Beckham and DCL. We could get some good Burberry deals going, though.
Imagine Burberry kit makers.
Trish asking you, which one is it who tries to cook? I think it's Brooklyn. I do let you put there. I think it's Brooklyn. I don't think it's the Rome area. Yeah, they're saying about the comment about the Beckham thing. Shooting on. As a second choice there. West Ham only beat Arsenal away, though. Yes, indeed. Peter Chubbs is saying the only player Calvert-Lewin plays at these days is playing a catwalk model. Mate. Yeah, Frog saying, hasn't Wan-Bissaka got any mates he can recommend?
Yeah.
We can't get him over the line. That's the problem, isn't it? Can't get him over the line.
Or brothers, you know. Ain't you got any brothers? Cousins. Yeah. Oh, I love Wan-Bissaka. I think his professionalism and his input and his ambition this season was faultless.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, big up to Eros as well. Thanks for coming into the show as well.
Hey Ross,
kudos-
good evening, mate.
Look at that. Kudos for 30 million to Spuds. Here we go. Get out of it, 30 million.
30 million. Well, 30 million plus Basuma.
Eros said also rest in peace to Jota and Silver. Condolences. Thank you very much for that as well. Good evening to Ian Bartram as well. Evening, everyone. Evening, Ian. Hope you're keeping well. We are literally coming into an end anyway. We're 2 hours and 40 minutes into the show. It's amazing how quickly this has gone.
Yeah.
GP saying, I'm starting to think West Ham United ended up where we left, Upton Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures of that. Live like it's just a bunch of boring overpriced flats there. Yes. Yeah. I think it was saying on Instagram or something. I saw it. It showed you a picture like they're holding a postcard of the old Upton Park. And then they move it away, then you see these block of flats.
Yeah.
Arsenal talk a lot of shit. Ross is saying, yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, mate. We could have told you that, Ross. Don't worry, mate.
This isn't Babe Station. Pepsi say this isn't Babe Station. Of course, yeah, we know you're joking on that one, mate. Good to see you. Iron Disciple saying Ferguson was a party boy, but whose fault was it? Potter's or his lack of dedication or on a slight edge, less than Ramsdale admitted? Good shout. Good shout. Dear me, GP. Better than Babe Station. He's spunked his pants 2 times already so far. Leon saying, prove it.
Oh my God, that's disgraceful.
Frog says, some I get, but a lot of risky players seem to be able to get security built into their deals. Yeah, and we offer silly money sometimes as well. And on that note, we're going to come to an end. Ferguson, do you want to be here? There's obviously from that disciple and that. People in the chat, sorry I couldn't come through all the comments. There's quite a few to go through. But most of us ever say hello to each other and so forth.
And they still keep coming after we've ended the show. You know they will, John.
Of course, mate. Of course. Really appreciate you being in the comments and that. It's been a great show. We've talked about a lot of things, and of course, we've heard some sad news as well. And we're not going to go with an outro. All we're going to do literally is go out peacefully, gracefully, and as Michael Chelsea said, great stream, guys. Thank you very much for that as well. Frog says, later, you troopers. Good evening, Fresh. Am I too early? Oh. As always, Sean. Always.
Make sure you click that like button as you're rewinding, Fresh.
Pepsi saying happy July the 4th, everyone. Yeah, of course, yes. Tomorrow is 4th of July.
Yeah.
Leon saying Ferguson was a waste of everything. Michael Chelsea with the Portuguese. Thank you. Well done, mate. Well done. Frog says, if you haven't subbed, the boys will be around. Absolutely.
Yeah, mate.
Kudos is going to go for 25 million on a meat pie, says Iron Disciple. And they're saying that. Well said, Leon. And yes, we're just going to end ourselves. Well, no, we ain't going to end ourselves. We're going to end the show. I've got to be careful what I say these days, but I'm, bloody hell, man. But yes, people, we are going to be signing ourselves out now. Thanks for being with us on that. If you haven't done already, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Let me just get the last kind of couple before we go out. And Iron Supper says, love from NY Hammer Valley on the Hudson River. As always, appreciate you being with us as always.
Thank you, sir. Always lovely to see you guys.
Top show, he's saying, thank you very much indeed. Ross, take care, gentlemen. Same for you as well. GP, good night as well. And long but last needs, we are going to sign ourselves out. It's been a great show with me and Budgie. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we have. And we look forward to seeing you next time. As always, come on, you irons. And we're going to sign up with this.